Hello, everybody. We are back. We are here. It is lovely to have you. How is everyone doing in chat? It is Foxhole Fridays, and we are playing the Gamblers, our Traveler Pirates of Drinax campaign, and I am very happy to be here. We were chatting in the chat in ways that make me laugh, and some of these things we were chatting about in chat we're going to share with you. Maybe. We'll see. I have to say, these players are amazing. The best players. They are hilarious, and they are cheeky, and in the best way. You know what I mean? That's all. It is a joy to be at the table with these people, and I cannot express that more, except to, I don't give them hugs. So thank you for being here. If you like these folks, one of the best things you can do is to support us, and the best way to support us would be to be here. Be here, chat with us, either live or Memorex. Either way works for me. If you're watching us on YouTube, like, subscribe, leave a comment. That would be lovely. And other than that, you can also repost our Bluesky post, letting people know that we are live. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies, tell random people on the street, say, watch Twitch.
Tell your randos.
Yeah, just super randos, though. That's right. That's the important part. And then other than that, besides reposting, you can also give us tips and bits. And if you do, and you leave a message, I'll read that out at the end, and all the tips and bits go to help pay for this cast. And also, art commissions, which I've got to do that. Also, let me see what else. We also have a Patreon. And that Patreon, if you do that, I want to actually thank Trick or Treat, who donated two Patreon subscriptions last time, so that was really great. But if you're going to do, it was so cool. But if the Patreon, all that also goes to help support the cast and crew. And there's going to be I've got a Patreon drop that's simmering, and that'll be coming really soon. And then I'll have to do another Patreon drop really soon. Back-to-back Patreon drops. Don't worry about it. But hang out there. We have a special Patreon tier. It's like $3 to be a Patreon. But we have a special tier, which is the sponsor tier. And only 4 people can do that. We currently have one, and that's Will and TW, who's wonderful. The sponsorship tier is $200, which will pay for 4 players. So that's them for 1 week for one show. And that really does. And if you do that, you get like a special shout out.
And we have one person?
We do.
We
do have one.
Who pays for that?
That is correct. So 1 week.
And how many episodes do we have a month?
4.
Great. So out of pocket, you're paying for the cast for 3 of these weeks.
Well, at the moment. So far, I've broken even so far.
Okay.
Except for the first year when I paid
those are rookie numbers. I got to pump those up, chat.
But
we're breaking even. We can't do that.
But I have some questions about this coming year, but that's okay. We will see how that goes. And also, I would really love to get to that. I'm not at a space where I can do 2 shows consistently because that's too much out of pocket. But if we get there,
but we could
if
we got there, chat.
If we got there, that would be pretty awesome. No pressure.
This is a fundraiser.
It's a fundraiser. We're raising the fund.
We're raising fund. Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, we're raising fund.
I'm from Vermont. I don't pronounce my D's or my T's.
Vermont.
You have the cheddar cheese, and we say mountain. We don't say T's and we don't say D's. So it's a fundraiser.
So how would you say the word dot?
Ot. No, we say dot.
Also, we have a Fourth Wall, a merch store on Fourth Wall where you can get our... So where did I put it? Oh, if I don't have it, I'll die. Sorry. It is so important to me. Our travel planner, and this travel planner is for the year 2025-2026, April to April, which means at the end of this month, I guess this is no longer relevant, except...
No, it's still really relevant because... Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're right. It is the actual calendar for the year 1105 in Traveler. So if you're running a Traveler campaign set in the year 1105, which is one of the standard starting dates, this will always work for you. And I love it. So... Once I get the art out, we will have I want to make a new travel planner for the next year. But all of that said, merch store.
That's after we get 2 more sponsors on our Patreon.
Just gotta get that going. So Bex is like, we do say yut. And I was like, oh, nice. Hey, Bex.
That's true.
It's true. So thank you everybody for being here. And I think the most important thing I can do is to say, I have the best players, and might they introduce themselves? Could they say who they are, who they are playing, and in the aftermath of this vicious battle on Borite, how are they feeling? You know, do they have a splitting headache? Are they feeling excited? Are they feeling trauma, but not from killing people, but from having to think about spying on people as a child? I just have questions. You know, let's start with, I think, the person who is most likely least traumatized, or the person who inflicted the least trauma on bodies around them. That would be Lindy.
Oh, hi.
What?
You know,
Doesn't make any sense. Hold on. The least trauma on bodies?
Did I misread what happened last week? Was that
you might have.
Oh.
You might have. Surprise! Hi, it's me, Lindy. I will be playing Quint Vesper, the pilot of the Gambler right now, and you know, ex-spy. Trying real hard to not think about spy stuff, and just, you know, checking out that sick vehicle, the cargo bay next door. Yeah.
Nice. And you're currently the pilot?
Yeah.
Yeah. And also
Currently.
a spy?
I used to be gunner. No, a former spy. I'm not spying anymore.
Sorry. Right. Okay.
The princess tried real hard, and I was like, flee.
Yeah. Speaking of
I ran
people...
away.
Oh, you did tell me something, and I'm going to have to dispute you. You said that nobody's given you anything, and the Kingdom of Drinax gave you citizenship and a knighthood. I would like to point
They did.
out.
No, I have. I just haven't received any physical gifts.
That's fair. That's fair. Speaking of physical
So
gifts...
I cherish the ones I have. Yeah,
All
who's
three of them?
who's got some physical gifts?
Oh, I asked you to let me know specifically which knife you gave.
I did. It's the responses in there.
Oh, in our chat, great. Because
Yeah,
I
it
was
is.
just updating her character sheet, and I was like, oh wait, she's got a better knife. Which one was it? And I have
It's
to...
a deadly stealth dagger, because I wanted her to be able to carry it on places and not be picked up by scanners and security.
Yeah. And I
It's
appreciate
like a
that.
security blanket for Karine.
It is this... so nice.
I know her so well.
You know, you do know her so well. But speaking of people who are security blankets, who are big cuddly toys, cuddly creatures, people who are soft and warm and friendly and not at all dangerous, Greg. Who are you? Tell me about your cuddly characters.
Not
and how are they
Soto,
feeling?
but Greg. Greg is the cuddly.
That's right. Hi, everybody. My name is Greg. I'll be playing Soto Masi and his ward Rhys tonight on Travelers, the Pirates of Drinax on the Foxhole Friday channel, which is always a great place to be. Right now, I have blaring in my ears Prince and the New Power Generation 7, so I'm going to continue to just do a little body roll as we talk. No, how does everybody feel whenever that the big battle's over?
Yeah.
Fine. It's same as we did before. You know, maybe need a wet wipe or something. That's about it. All good.
This is why I ask these questions, because I'm waiting for those answers. You know what I mean? Those are always the answers I like. Speaking of people who are all good, and there's like no...
Speaking of wet wipes,
people who are all good, there's no kind of weird conflict or possession or anything like that going on, obviously and clearly. Myth. Cord, who are you? Who are you playing? And how's your character feeling after this battle?
hi everyone, it's me, Cord, or mythematic. I am playing Admiral Baron Severence. He is a clone to a warlord in the Imperium known as Marrymore. Last week, I thought it would be kind of cool to see if we could jack into the crystal that was in their cargo bay to try to astral project and try to help out the battle that I was not physically there for, or my character was physically there for. But we do know that when he's around the crystal, around the Viridian, he can feel comfortable enough to use his psionic powers. So I tried to use the crystal to astral project myself, it was really wonderful because I went and did it, but I was like, how do we have a negative to this really cool thing, and it ended up through just collaborating with people and it ended up being while I'm astral projecting, my prime, Mary Moore, can see, and also I can be susceptible to his possession. And that's what happened. So last week I was possessed in the astral projection of Mary Moore, and then Quint cut me in half. But it wasn't me, it was the thing I was puppeting. And now I'm unconscious with only two. I'm unconscious. I'm not dying. I thought I was dying, but I'm unconscious, but I have 2 intel left. So it is not good for Sevi as he is in the cargo bay.
I love Sevi as a name, as a nickname. Also, if you had a medical doctor like Val, or maybe like, or like a psionics specialist who knew clones really well, or a psionics specialist like the Harlock, they might be able to like investigate what that was that happened, because it might be a little bit complicated.
Hilarious that you bring that up, because we don't have any of those.
Oh, well.
Yep.
And we never, ever had these problems when they were around.
That's right.
Ever.
I don't know if that's true. I recall some strange things, but speaking of people who have never had problems.
Didn't know how strange it was because we had professionals on board.
It's true. Who are like,
right. Reroll your characters, everyone else.
You know, and turns out genetic testing says you might be no longer a clone. Hold on, wait. So there was some goodness there, but speaking of people who never get into trouble in any way, Emelisa Graves, Nugget, who are you? Who are you playing, and how's your character feeling now that this battle is over?
Yeah, hi, I'm nuggetasaurus. I'm playing Dame Emelisa Graves. Excuse me, I have to give the title because that's all she has. She is a astrogator from the floating palace on Drinax, and she is feeling very confused and concerned about the zombie that was stood up and started talking. That was apparently Severence. So she is incredibly confused. Severance, quote unquote, but not really. And she's just focused at the mission on hand, which is getting these poor Boritians out of this warehouse and back to where they belong.
Boritians.
And then she's gonna have some words. Boritians? Yeah. She's gonna have some words.
The Borites?
When Boritians?
Borat?
Borites.
Borat?
I feel like
Borats.
Borites live on
The
Borite.
Borats.
The Borites.
No, I think
Yeah,
the
that's
Borats
how
got it.
Emelisa's
Borats take
feeling
it.
right now. It's just confused and concerned.
Oh, well, that's lovely. So I'm going to just give you all so before we get back into that warehouse where we all were, I'm going to go and show everybody a little thing. So in our Roll20, I've made a landing page because I was reading up on this. We've had this for a while, but I was reading up on it and I thought, yeah, this seems like a good thing. Let's have a landing page. So, we do have one. And this is like a HUD, right? A little fake HUD. And it's got a bunch of data on it that I try to keep updated when I can. And you all cannot see all of it, but I will tell you some things. First off, we're on the day 270 of 1105, Viridian 3. And we all know where our main crew is. All the crew is there, like they're here on the Gambler mostly. But you also have, at this point, you have technically 5 ships in your fleet. The Gambler, the Last Refuge, and the Janel Torsk are all on Borite, and the Elaine is now on Dupre, has arrived, because we did math. But also, we have a couple of bits of stats. I will probably add a couple other stats here or there when they become relevant, but you have your standing, which is how the people in the area feel about you. And that standing can raise or lower, depending on what kinds of things you do. Your standings are with the Imperium, the Hyrate, the Reach, and the Trojan Pirates. You also have standing with things like GDCO or other factions or entities, but don't worry about that right now. And for every month you don't do something super good or bad, that standing starts, trending towards its starting base point. So your Imperial standing is at 0, as it has been. Your Hyrate standing went from a 2 to a 1 because you've been away for a bit. Your Reach standing has gone from 9 to an 8, and your Trojan Pirate standing has gone from -9 to a -8. Your bounty is still hanging out as it is. There is a bounty on you, and there may be pirates
those
who
numbers?
want to.
Oh, those on the landing page.
You're on the HUD.
Yep.
And
Write them down.
Whoop.
Sweet. Thank you very much. I see
Right. Your bounty is still out there. I don't know why I have this here, so I'm gonna delete that.
Yeah, why don't you delete the bounty?
No, not the bounty. There's also something called the piracy response indicator and the pirate response indicator. And that is about how likely it is that people are going to be out to get you. Like, it's basically on how much trouble you're causing. And your piracy response indicator and your pirate response indicator are pretty low because you have not actually been doing a lot of pirating or attacking of pirates recently. So, they're just they were a little bit higher. They've just drifted downwards recently, and they will keep drifting down towards 0 as long as you don't do things. But I will note that that if they're really chill, then that you have not done your job, because you do want them irritated enough that they will eventually be like, yeah, Drinax should be, and so we should recognize Drinax as an independent entity so they can take care of these pirates. But, that's where you're at. Although if it's too high, they're going to start sending very large warships after you all. But, so like you're kind of in a chill space. And then we have our sort of the main threads that are hanging out right now that you're sort of out and about, right? That you've got this lost treasure of Sindal that you're chasing, that you're trying to get before. You had a bit of a time pressure because there were other pirates that are trying to find it, but you have gotten all of their treasure globes except for one, and you're pretty sure that they're not going to be able to find where this thing is, which is why you're kind of chill. You're a little bit less, what's the word? A little bit less rushed on that one. That said, what you needed to do was to get 4 particle lasers and then fire those particle lasers.
The treasure globes.
Well, except for the one that the professor has. But you had access.
But we got the info out of it.
You got the info out of it.
That doesn't matter. Okay, yeah. So
you have all the info. There is just one treasure globe that's floating out there that the professor has. But what's inside of it. But other people could find it. But as you have learned, you kind of need all of them together to sort of give you the location to figure out where to go, which is the planet Ace. The planet Ace, and what you figured out is that these messages were firing solutions. So you have to basically fire 4 particle lasers in 4 different locations to find the treasure. You're not quite certain what will happen, but that's it. And it's at the planet of Ace. Now, the thing is, though, that you're just one ship. However, since you found out about this location, because you did find out the whole stuff before you went off towards Thieves, when you were just one ship, you now have 2 other ships, all of which can fire particle lasers. So, and you have a second particle barbette in your hold, which you can jury rig, like make it like a satellite, because you've done that before, like your crybaby. So when you the last time you revisited this particular mission, you didn't have the resources to do it, but now you've expanded your fleet, so you do. So you just have to get yourself back to Ace eventually to do that. So that's one thing you've got. The other thing that's most present is that you need to go and collect that bounty. You have got Ferric Redthane, the pirate that you have been chasing. And you've got to get him back to Torpol and Clark to get the bounty on him, of which you're looking at quite a bit of money. Now, you also have, on a side note, I should probably put this on there, but you have some questions that you want to do. I think y'all want to take down some Admiral Derrican and his sketchiness, and that is up there for you. The kidnapped crew of Terrica's first ship is part of the mission that Dame Emelisa Graves is about, which is to go all the way over to deal with the Aslan refugees, because Terrica's missing crew from that first ship are most likely part of that crew of refugees, formerly enslaved folks. You know that the Prince Grahai, who's the pretender to the old Empire of Sindal, is out and about saying a lot of anti-Aslan stuff. You don't know where he is, but you've seen some indications. It's one of those things that's out there in the background. Val has an Aslan ally, Maggie, who's in captivity on the planet Bastion as a way to try to as a trap to catch you all out. But I believe that Maggie also is known to Rhys and Soto Masi from they're around that same planet area. So she is captured, and they're going to execute her, although they keep not doing it because they're hoping that somebody will try to rescue her so they can capture them. You all know this. You know it's a trap. But she's there. You have your high port that you're building at number 1. You need to go back and make sure it is safe and fine. So check in on that. You know that Lady Grey has been doing, she tried to stage that coup on Thebes. She has also now stolen and kidnapped Severence's child with the Harlock. The Harlock is off that way to try to take care of that. Rachando, the traitor over on the floating palace, you have learned, has told people, well, you cannot confirm that he did it, but you're pretty sure he did, has been telling people that no traders should go to Drinax because GDCO said so, that there's like an exclusive trading deal with GDCO, and so only GDCO traders can trade with them, and so no one else should go there. You do not have GDCO traders coming to Drinax. Nobody comes to Drinax, and the only people you can trade with is him. So you do know that.
Does Emelisa know that? Is that knowledge that's been shared with her?
Did you find out this out while she was there? I feel like you found this out before Emelisa got on board, and I don't think you've shared it with her yet. Basically,
interesting.
I don't think you have. It hasn't come up, but maybe it might want to come up. But it turns out one of the reasons why nobody's trading on Drinax and you have to like basically trade the Mona Lisa for toilet paper is probably because Rachando has been lying to people off the planet, and you all don't get off the planet very often. So somebody might want to tell her, because that's exciting. You know that the psionic beasts on Marduk have somehow begun to be able to teleport and are killing people. You've heard that rumor. You have a poem that is like a poem that you found in part of Mary Moore's archive that you'll look at or see what you're gonna do with it later. It's in the back burner. And then also you have been told that on Porn, the planet Porn, which is bright by Drinax.
Hell yeah.
The Aslan have asked you to look into it because there are reports that Aslan are getting some sort of plague which is causing them to become feral and violent, and there is concern that if this is true or not true, whatever it is, it could very likely lead to violence against the Aslan population on Porn, which is very small. Like, it's not a huge population, but there's some concern about whatever this thing might be.
Yeah, not a lot of Aslan porn.
Yeah, there's not a lot of Aslan on Porn, like the Porn and Aslan, anyway. So those are all the things that are sort of here. Yeah. I'll just add Admiral Darrican as part of your situation. But those are the things, Admiral Darrokin's smoking gun. Because you know that there is data that proves that he's in contact with the Third Imperium, hidden on his computers in his flagship. He does not know that the data is hidden in the computers in his flagship, but it is. And if you could get it, that would probably make his day sad. That is all of the business that I can recall that is updated in your space. That said, at the moment, you are on Borite. Borite is one of this 3 small cluster of planets that were once part of the Kingdom of Drinax, and before that, the Kingdom of Sindal, where the people of this planet, almost none of them can read, except for the people of the Borite Continuity Authority, which is basically like the old mining corporation. And they are trying to keep their planet surviving, but they, along with Marduk, are regularly raided by the Oghman Raiders, who like to steal people and also supplies. And you, unfortunately, Dame Emelisa Graves was one of the people kidnapped, and she was held in a warehouse with about 8 other people. And there are two warehouses next to each other. One has these people and some supplies. The other has a small air raft and also a bunch of supplies. The supplies themselves, by the way, are mostly like industrial goods. Your ship doesn't have a lot of space for it, though. But they're clearly this is they were pre-gathering some of the best stuff for when they come in. And it looks like they might have sent off a message telling someone in system that they've got some really good high-value targets, so come on in when you're ready. But I'm sure that won't be a problem. Anyhow, so we are in a warehouse. a battle has finished. It was a very long and lengthy battle where our protagonists were very much in danger the entire time, although I don't think that would be really how anybody else would describe it, including all the super dead Oghman Raiders. Well, nonetheless, there's one Oghman Raider who's unconscious but not dead. You've got 7 people from Borite. Dame Emelisa Graves, through her hacking, has learned that there are about, at least on this sort of data pad, 25 moles on this planet, sort of spread throughout, who are being extorted and sort of forced to report in if there's anything interesting, like people or shipments or goods, and that they have been basically threatened that their loved ones have been captured and they'll be killed. They're already dead, but they don't know that, right? So there are these traitors, moles, who are helping the Oghman Raiders capture people who are interesting. And also, Severence is sort of unconscious. And Karine, who's...
Not sort of, absolutely unconscious.
Absolutely unconscious. Karine has given you all radio word that Severence is unconscious and will not wake up. So, with that, I'm going to just note that it is apparent to you all that there are Oghman Raiders in this system. Where, you don't know, but you do know that they're here, because you cannot send radio signals to a different system because you do not have... communications are not faster than the speed of light. So there are Oghman Raiders in this system lurking somewhere. And you have that information. So I'm going to take this curtain back up and bring us back to the warehouse. What all do you do? There is a weird zombified body that has been bisected in another way. There's a... just to remind you all, Quint is covered in blood. He's just full of gore. Just lots and lots of gore. Soto has got gore in his fur as well. Not nearly as bad as some people. Just a little light dust, right? A little light dust of gore. Or you can...
Never got close enough.
Oh. So the only person who looks like a character from Dragon Age...
Yes, is me.
Would be you. Nice.
Yeah.
So everybody else is clean.
So the only thing, he was standing behind the person when he slit their throat. So like,
that's true.
fine.
He was. Oh.
So maybe just a title, like a glove, maybe.
Yeah.
Hand.
Oh, see, look at that. So the only person who's a Dragon Age...
I look like I'm from Dragon Age Origins, because that is the one that had the worst
That's the one.
letter.
That's the one.
I look like I'm in a cutscene.
It's the
in Dragon Age
difference
Origins.
between an amateur and a professional. That's
right, yeah,
the difference
absolutely.
I think we're looking for, right.
Nice.
I will open this. I will bring back our curtain on you all. So at this moment, we've got some bodies. We've got some traumatized Borite folks. And we have got Malcom. We have got Dame Emelisa Graves. We've got Soto Masi. We've got Rhys. And we have got Quint. And one unconscious Oghman Raider.
Mm-hmm.
I leave it to you.
After she does her hacking, Emelisa would give Rhys back her tablet and thank her.
Welcome.
And then... appreciate it. And then I think Emelisa is going to because Quint already helped free all of the Boritians. So I'm just going to direct them outside of this warehouse so they're not, they don't have to witness all that blood and gore over there.
By the way, you can actually just direct them out the front door so they don't even have to go into the main part of the warehouse. They don't have to see all that gore.
Because we're like right next, not at the map. We're like right next to the main door is that room that we were in, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, she's just going to open up that door and then just, come on this way. Come out here.
Here, I'll take you there. I'll take you there. There you go. Right, so you can and that door is locked, but I don't know how to put this any other way, but you do have people who have
It wasn't locked
access.
because I went out that way to get the raft with Malcom.
Yeah, and you can... I think you went out the Did you got the back door? Anyway, the point is you have
No,
a static
I just walked out
axe.
the front because I told Malcolm to meet me down. I called up.
Yeah. It's not hard to get through these doors.
Yeah, I'm gone. I'm out.
They're not hard doors to get through, So you're going to sort of, Emelisa, you're going to sort of take this group of people, again, like a wide range of ages, but you notice it tends to be a bit more in the extremes. Young people and older people who probably have more experience, and young people who have not learned how to hide the fact that they know anything just yet. Is what that is, right? Because people who are middle-aged, they've learned how to not let people know they know how to know things, right?
Yeah, like nobody's 30. They're all younger than that. Yeah.
Yeah. You've got like younger people who are bright and people noticed, and older people who are clearly experienced and people noticed. Yeah.
Everyone's in their prime.
No, you're the prime. So then...
no, not. Wait, hold on. What?
I did call you Severence Prime last week.
It's true. Oh
my God, right.
So you've moved them out, and so you are in this... this is like a small little riverside community, village, town. This kind of place itself is... The place where people live is actually not right here. There's a lot of space in this place in terms of geographic. It's spread out. So you've got this area where a lot of the you're gonna have boats coming in and up this river, right? You've got this warehouse area. But where people live is a little bit further away. You're going to guess tactics. Anybody with tactics? Not naval, but military, but tactics. Anybody with tactics who is here would like to roll.
I ain't got tactics.
You ain't got tactics?
I'm jack of all trades. But...
That said, if
do we get
roll
informed that Severance is down?
Yeah, because it came over the radio.
Oh, okay. Well then, Soto and probably Rhys. We have the Viper and we have the air raft, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Quint is making sure the air raft's fueled up and is like getting both vehicles ready to be moved and go. That's what Quint's been doing.
Are there any other vehicles like a motorcycle or
a horse?
Oh, well, if you went closer towards the town, you could definitely steal somebody's conveyance. It would take you much longer to get there than just getting in one of these flyers.
Okay. With that being said, Soto has an internal clock. When it reaches 0, he will be stealing something and heading back towards Severance.
Mm-hmm. So you do know that because Karine sent a message saying that Severance is out and is not waking up. What are you all doing?
I'm getting things ready to fueled up and ready to get out of here. Like counting the seats in the air raft, counting how many spots we have in, like, basically Quint's like, get ready for the road trip. Like, we're in the driveway, we're loading up, we're almost ready to hit the road. We just got to make sure that we've got things for people. Saw there was a bunch of supplies in the other room.
Malcolm's helping with the flyer because he knows you've got the Callan Viper. So they're getting in this other warehouse, which, by the way, has got lots of crates of, I would assume, stolen goods that they've been hoarding right in this warehouse. Both of them a bit. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm corralling these people and waiting for the go-ahead from Quint.
Okay. I think that would be everyone. So the air raft carries 6, the driver and 5 more. The Camelin Viper has room for 10 Marines, basically, and 2 pilots. A pilot and a co-pilot. What do y'all would like to do?
Didn't one lady say she was from around here?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, just quick above table talk. We could leave her here. And then load up, have Malcolm take the thing, while the rest of us take the Camelin Viper. But if we leave her here, that might tip off anybody else who is here, like the person who owns the warehouses. Yeah. That something's off. So I think we should take everybody with us. So they load up Malcom with most of them, and then we take one person in the Camlin Viper.
That's an excellent point. Soto would go to, well, the group of prisoners and ask them, how many of them were there?
There were, do you mean, and they kind of look, they look.
Talk amongst yourselves.
No, they look a little worried, a little bit like they're a little freaked out. I'm like, do you mean when? What do you mean?
In total.
Well, there was like they kind of talk amongst themselves like we saw like 4 or 5 of them, and then they brought us to that room. That's all. And one of them's like, yeah, there was, and starts describing them. And one of them goes, no, that's not what they look like. And like, as they are sort of debating amongst themselves, what you realize is they would all basically say there are only 4 or 5 of them that they've seen. Mm-hmm. But when they describe what they look like, it clearly looks like 2 different sets of people. But timeline-wise, you're going to think a shift change. Right, the people who have a different one were kidnapped like a month ago, and they've been like waiting here for about like a month and a half. It's like there's like they caught like 2 people about a month and a half ago, and they've been slowly building up the rest of the folks. So it seems to you as if there was probably some kind of shift change on these people about a month ago. So like a different 5 about a month and a half ago than for the last month. So your guess is that they probably do some kind of cycling in and out.
Like every month.
Every month. That said, can I get... I need a roll from somebody who knows their area knowledge very well. You can give me Galangic, or you could give me... what would be a good one? Something about like your good general knowledge of things happening in the universe. News, as it were.
Streetwise?
Streetwise can give you some stuff. I would say Streetwise can give you some stuff. I would say Galangic, because that's kind of general cultural stuff, could give you some stuff.
I don't see Galangic. Yeah, I guess that'd be under languages.
It's under languages. So like basically language. Carouse, if like how you get information from people, that can give you something. I would say carouse would be pretty decent. Streetwise would be decent. Language would be fine.
No boon or anything?
No, because Severence is out. If Karine were here, she'd get a boon because she's from this area, but none of the rest of you are from this cluster. So I would say no boon.
Still average 8?
No, routine 6, because the Oghman Raiders are pretty infamous, you know? Like they're pretty infamous. People talk about them, right? Now the question is, how much of the stuff people say about them are true? People say a lot of things about the Aslan, and not all those things are true either. So that's, but if you would.
One last question. Rhys has a both translator and a database of the Reach in her portable computer. Does any of that give her a bonus?
Boon.
I will go back and put the boon back in.
Boon for her. Because language is not just language, it's also culture and history. Nice. Thank you for Rhys. Woo! Oh, yeah. We'll just note that. Extraordinary success. Extraordinary success is going to give you a bonus for later. Just note that. Anyone else who may so desire? Different things you'll get depending on the skill you use.
Would
Streetwise
investigate do anything
yes,
here?
Investigate would also work. Absolutely.
Ooh, investigate is good. Yeah.
Yeah, because investigate shows like you've been studying. Like this is like your investigate is long term versus recon. Okay.
We can't do recon though?
No, because this is like long knowledge versus like in the moment. Okay.
2 extraordinary successes.
2 extraordinary successes in different skills. Noting it.
And 1 basic success in streetwise.
Okay. So let's talk about what you know about the Oghman Raiders. You can know some things more than others. One of the things that you know, and this is for language, which is also culture. We got language, streetwise, and investigate. So a couple of things. One, what you're seeing right now is not what you expect. Culturally, the Oghman Raiders don't have teams that are... They might have spies, that might be something, right? That would make sense. But the Oghman Raiders are not known to have teams sitting on a planet in a subtle way. They're not known for being subtle, is the best way I can put it. People have always suspected that they have... I mean, they are stealthy and all that, right? People have suspected that they probably have spies in various places else. How else are they going to know? But these people that you're seeing, these Oghman Raiders, they are wearing armor, but that is not what you... Like, the stories of the Oghman Raiders is that they wear, like, their armor has, like, furs and, like, runes, and that they are very, very much, like, big, obvious, like... Now, that could be propaganda, but, like, the stories are, like, much big, bold, right? Like, they don't... you don't see them coming because stories are, and this is... from investigation, that they're stealthy, that their ships are stealthy. People often do not know that they're coming. That said, they are often attacking planets that don't have good sensors. So, right, there's like, this planet probably wouldn't see them coming, you know what I'm saying? But that's, so either they are themselves very stealthy, or there's some kind of combination of them. I think you understand what I'm saying here, right? They might be stealthier than you think, but they also tend to attack people that don't have a lot of technology. But all the reports of them is that they tend to come in groups of ships. They have these raiding ships, come in, hit hard, like sneak in, hit hard, boom, 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 big explosions, big taking, huge, massive sort of pulling in of goods and then taking off. So that generally speaking, what people understand about how they work is that while they might have spies to let you know when, like in the same way that a lot of pirates have spies, they just let somebody know when a good ship is coming through, or if something's happening that's interesting, then they pounce. What you're seeing here is an away team, and that is not what anybody here has heard from them before. And this away team is not wearing all their ceremonial, at least you've not seen the ceremonial stuff, but from the reports, right? From the reports, they're like all Vikinged up, right? And these people are less Vikinged up. They're definitely Oghman Raiders. They still have like some of their symbols, but they're not in the full regalia. So there are, I would say, they're a bit more subtle than, the whole thing is a bit more subtle than any of the reports of Oghman Raiders are used to. They also are not a particular culture that likes to sit around for a month just hanging out. They might hang out in their ships waiting, but like sitting here, is not normal culturally, right? I mean, I think for Rhys, you would say like culture, that's not at all what you've heard about them or how they seem to operate. What I would say from the language, the culture, is that an investigation knows that they do not have a central government, that it's basically a lot of warlords, different warlords, and the more important you are is based on how many ships you have, like how many raiding ships you have. So culturally, you would think something has happened. These people must work for a warlord that is doing something different than the way they normally do things, right? Because normally they're just going to come in, take people and leave. They're not going to leave teams here waiting and investigating. They're not that. They don't. That's a level of subtlety and long-term strategic thinking that is out of their cultural norm, right? They're not like a let's be sneaky and hide around a lot. That's not their thing. Their thing is come in, hit hard, go and leave. So this indicates to you that there's probably a warlord who is now doing things differently. You don't know who that is or why or what, but this is not the standard for them. It also means that they're targeting very specific, whoever this warlord is thinking now more targeted, direct, and strategic in a way that is not necessarily the norm for the general Oghman Raiders. So that's something that you might want to look out for, because something is happening here. At least with whoever the warlord is that these people work for. That is odd.
If that's the case,
yeah.
If that's the case, during this time when everybody, to make the time pass a little bit faster as he's waiting, Soto is going to pull off of his armor and his top shirt, and he is going to take all of the bodies and he is going to tie them together, and he is going to hoist them from their feet from the ceiling. And while he is tying them together, Rhys is going to paint across their chests, in Galangic, now we have your scent, and it is the symbol of one of the nearest clans of the Aslan Hierate. And in Troke, Soto is going to write Fate of Pirates.
Can I get a follow-up roll from Emelisa? Some kind of tech or engineering roll would be good.
Who's doing this?
Emelisa, with a boon.
With a boon?
Yes, please.
And you said engineering or electronics?
Engineering, electronics, mechanics. I want a tech roll from you. Fate of
a tech roll.
Pirates.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm gonna go.
I have a follow-up question for Soto.
Mechanics, because that's, if it's just a base electronics, my mechanics is better. But if it's a sensor's mechanics, a sensor's electronics, that's better.
I'd say no, not sensors.
Okay, then I'll
this
go,
like
I'll go
engineering or mechanics. You could do one of those two. I think sensors would be less useful.
Okay,
here.
I'll do mechanics.
Education,
then.
by the way.
Yep, and then is it average?
Average and a boon.
And a boon. Did I put a boon? I did put a boon. Mechanic. Submit.
Okay.
15.
Thank you. So, you guys are doing this stuff as they're getting ready to go. Something that I will tell you is this. So, in this, we talk about tech levels, and tech levels are things that people talk about inside the game universe themselves, because these are assigned by the Imperial Scout Service, right? They like rank things, right? Like they sort of like everything is. It's very like a Darwin wanting to like categorize everything, sort of a thing. And the Oghman Raiders, Oghma, as far as you know, is a tech level 9 planet. And when you look at the things they have here, these are also tech level 9. Some of the things, you got like some good tech level 9 gear. That's fine. But there is something a little bit odd to you, though, when you think about it. They've got Jump 1 ships. And they've got a lot of Jump 1 ships, as far as you know. And the air raft that you saw looked like it was stolen, most likely from someone else. There's a question I think you might have in your mind about how they can have so many Jump 1 capable ships when they are a tech level 9 world, right? Like, technically you think everything is fine, but they seem to have more technology than makes sense for their technology level. If that, like, it's like, how are they doing this exactly, right? Like, there's you have a question. It's a little question, but I will tell you that none of the kind of stuff, if you look at their armor and their weapons, that kind of a thing, the air rafter they probably stole. It doesn't, the design feels Sindalian to you, right? It doesn't feel to you as if, oh, this is GD code that's feeding them stuff or anything like that. This does feel like they must have some kind of access to older Sandalian technology in the same way that Drinax does, right? Because this whole place was very technologically advanced some time ago. And it doesn't seem to you as if they are hybridizing. There's not a lot of hybridizing of newer, more modern technological styles and techniques. It seems like it seems like they somehow still have access to older technology. But if they did, why don't they have jump to ships, right? So you have some questions about like
they could be bankrolled by somebody too.
They could be bankrolled by somebody, or they could have found information but not fully. But there's something, it's a little bit off is what I would say, right? There's like a bit of a question about how do they have this, how are they sustaining themselves? Like, these are people who just run off and keep raiding these poor planets. How are they sustaining the level of technology they have, right, is, I think, without actually getting outside of the systems, this cluster? It's a bit of a question.
So there's like a piece of the puzzle that we don't quite have yet. That's the kind of feeling. Okay.
But there is a puzzle, let's put it that way. You're like, wait, no, there's a puzzle here. That's a little weird, is the way to put it. And to go back to Rhys, these people are all about, from what you know, history, they're all about, it's not that dissimilar from the Aslan, although also dissimilar from the Aslan. They're about, they have a sense of honor, right? They have a cultural practice that does involve raiding. But these people are toning that down for this mission, which is, as far as you know, just not done, right? They are very much about doing things in their cultural way. And this is not like they're not, this is a toned down version of the culture that is not normal, is what I would say about that. And the last question I wanted to ask you was, when you put a Hyrate clan symbol, there are two main factions of the Aslan Hyrate in this, generally speaking, but especially here. There is two big clans that have a lot of influence. One is the New Way, which is a bit more open to like trade and diplomacy, and it's a bit less violent, I guess is the best way to put it. And then there's the other faction that is a lot more violent. Of the clan symbols that you pick, would the clan symbol you pick fall under which of those two larger factions?
Oh, definitely the violent, scary one.
Thank you. Thank you. And so, I'm going to assume, with all of this packed up, by the way, a lot of their technology, some of their armor, seems to be handmade. Like, you see, like, senses of, like, hammers, right? Like, there's, like, this is not low-tech gear, but there seems to be low-tech artisanal practice involved in making it, I think is the best way I could put it. Yeah. Are you heading back? Are you going to take most people on the Camel and Viper, or where are you putting people?
Most people in the air raft, and have Malcolm steer that, because I believe he can fly the air raft.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to fly the Camel and Viper.
Okay.
Unless someone else would prefer to fly the air raft. But
I don't know how many people have Flyer.
I do.
You have it? Would you like to? So the air raft is going to have a bunch of civilians and a flyer, and then there'll be everybody else on the other one. Who would like to be not in the same group with everybody else? And that could be Malcolm, or it could be someone else. I just want to know if you want to be separated.
Yeah, last time I was separated, it didn't go so well, so I'm gonna go on Camel Viper.
Cool.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Soto would go on the air raft if he didn't want to get back to Severence as quick as possible, and he knows that the Camel and Viper is the quickest one, and he will not let Rhys go by herself. So
absolutely. So as you're flying over, again, it's not going to take too long. It's not the longest flight. are there any important conversations you have as you are flying over?
Yeah, I think Emelisa at some point, maybe like 10, 15 minutes into the flight, she's been pretty quiet, hasn't really said much outside of speaking to the prisoners when they were in the flyer. And just at one point, she would just kind of speak up and just, I wanted to say thank you. I know I said it earlier, but, thanks for coming to get me.
I
Of
think,
course.
yes, Soto doesn't say a word. It's his job, and in a way, being thanked for it is he's still like you would see him look at Rhys, and Rhys would say something in Troke. And again, since Emelisa is doing the learning that, it basically is saying it's not an insult to him, and he just nods, and Rhys is like, "Sure, that's what we're here for. We don't leave anybody behind."
Every freaking time Rhys just rips Emelisa's heart out. That's a change and an appreciated one. So thank you. I felt like I needed to say it. I appreciate each and every one of you.
I mean, it was a pretty easy rescue.
But that's yeah.
Covered in blood in the driver's seat.
Yes, I hope we don't get pulled over. We haven't had Mr. Wolf come and clean the Camlin Viper or Quint, so it's like,
Yeah.
They can't pull us
hard.
over. They don't have
Yeah.
any sky vehicles, so
Yeah.
we're fine.
This poor planet. You will make it back to your the down port. By the way, so you know,
But Quint will make like a little note, like a little sticky note somewhere to like buy wet wipes for Camlin Viper. Yeah.
By the way, when it comes to documentation for your flight logs, they just give you a piece of paper with a stamp on it that just says basically Borite.
We were here.
We were here. Like, that's all you got. You got a stamp. They're not really connected to the internet, sadly. Is how that goes. You arrive, and when you get there, you are there. You can see it is the 3 ships. All 3 ships are on this sort of like big landing strip, and the Gambler is there for you.
yeah, Soto would be out before technically they had landed. He'd jump from about 10 feet up.
Yeah. You have authorization. And Malcom is also hot on your heels as soon as he can. He doesn't stay with the civilians on the air raft because he also wants to get to Severence as quickly as possible. He also is
So
really
he's
happy
flooring the air raft, and I'm
Yeah.
going fast on the Camlin Viper. I'm not quite flooring it because, again, the maneuver drive is something's wrong with it, and it'll take us longer if we break down.
Yeah. Also, side note, you cannot do any repairs on your vehicles on this planet because
I know
they do not have that technology. Soto, with Malcom on your heels, you're hitting first. You open up the bay, right, like the gangplank to get onto the ship and into the cargo bay. And when you get in there, you've got the cargo bay, right, with the silks, with the viridian crystal, with actually you have a completely full hold. By the way, your hold there is no empty space in this hold whatsoever.
I think we are full Oni.
You are full. Somebody, and that would be Severence, has been working hard to get a fuller hold. And I will say, he had a lot of challenges because this group of people do not have computers. So he is not on the international credit system. So he worked really hard to get some stuff going on there. But your hold is full, and there in the center, you have got. You can see Severence laying on the ground unconscious, and by his side is Karine and Wesley. Karine is standing, looking alert, and Wesley is on his knees, seeing if he can like wake up Severence.
Well, on the run from the Viper to the Gambler, Soto would be absolutely hauling ass to the point where when the elevation changed a little bit, he would drop down and one of his, he'd use not all fours, but like down on threes for a second. And as soon as he gets inside the gambler, he's not saying it to anybody in particular. He just says, report.
And Karine goes, well, and when she's about ready to report, and Malcom, who's hot on her heels, rushes her. He's going to commit violence on Karine. You can tell he's heading in that direction. It doesn't look like he's going to shoot her or anything like that, but he's coming in hot and aggressive. He seems to have been a little bit off ever since he watched all of that murder recently.
Which one? The one at the last episode?
At the warehouse.
Murders?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, he had.
He's used to monster violence, not people violence.
Yeah. So he's going to come up. He has to go past you, by the way, Soto, but he's going to come up and get up in Karine's face. And
do I have a chance to intervene with that?
Oh, yeah, you do. You've got good, but you can tell his intention is to be aggressively violent, I guess is the best way to put it, towards Karine. And you can hear it because he's like, how could you let this happen, right? And he's coming in this way that's going to be about blaming her for what happened, right? She's about to report. But he's
Soto
coming
wants
in hot.
to stop this immediately. So do I have to roll anything or?
Yes, please. That would be I guess, I'm assuming melee for you.
Okay.
Unarmed if you like.
Tolerance roll for you.
Well, the insult wasn't against him, so I think he'd be fine.
You want melee or do you want like athletics? I'll do it either one you want.
It depends on what you would like. The melee would be if you just want to grapple him. The athletics would be for like an intervene or a trip, that kind of a thing.
You know what? I'm feeling more athletics, even though it's probably not better. So yeah, I'm gonna dex this for flavor.
I'm gonna note that you're not gonna get a penalty for a dodge. He does not realize that you're going to intervene with him. Do you know what I mean? Like he's too fixated right now on Karine, so he can't. He's not using his reaction.
That should be
roll.
one lower. I rolled with a boon, but it was only off by one.
Okay, so he's behind you, and you can hear him say, "How could you let this happen?" to Karine, and he starts charging. He's not going to bump into you. He's going to go past you, and as he's moving past you, you can see that he's got his like fists balled up, right? You're gonna guess he's gonna grab her and get in her face. That's the look, right?
And again, this is more culturally appropriate in the Aslan side of things. So this might be insulting to Malcom. He certainly doesn't mean it to be.
Yeah.
But what he'll do is he basically palms the back of Malcolm's head.
Yeah.
And, in lieu of a scruff, he palms the back of his head and turns him to face him and says, "How does this help him?"
Amazing.
Could I get some social roll, either diplomacy, persuasion, or intimidation with a boon?
I have none of those. Streetwise is as close as I get to anything social.
You can give me social. You can be streetwise.
Okay, and you said with a boon. All right.
Mm-hmm. He looks at you, and it's like you slapped him in the face. And you can see this is streetwise, right? With streetwise, what you can see is this. He is not okay. It's like, this is projection, right? You can tell that he's having a little bit of trauma from what happened earlier. And this is his attempt to gain some kind of control over the situation, right? Like you can just see that this is about what happened. And when you say that to him, it's like you just slapped him in the face because you kind of snapped him out of this thing, which was like, this I can control. And you just see it, like his face falls, right? As he's standing there looking at you. But over his shoulder, you see Karine, and she has a knife, and she just puts it back down.
Yeah, if Soto sees that she had pulled a knife, he immediately casts a really type of look at her, like, that's not how we solve things anymore on the boat. And
she nods, like it was her kind of like, clearly it's instinctual for her. It's reflex.
Right.
Yeah.
And because she also, because you're using Streetwise for this, you can tell that these are not professional soldiers. These are people who had to live and survive in other ways. And so her reflexes are out, but she sees you. She acknowledges, like, she doesn't say anything, but she's just like, you know, you're right. And she just puts it down. She is not as traumatized as he is, right? But that's
when
her.
When he turns Malcolm to him, he immediately, as soon as he sees Malcolm's face relax, he takes his hands off of him and moves it from the back of his head down to his shoulder and says to him, "Together we will help him. Listen." And then he uses a troke word, and if anybody's around, the word would be son.
And he nods. He doesn't know what the word means, but he nods, like he knows, he kind of gets it. You've kind of moved him into the space where he understands
Which
himself,
son?
what he was doing. Do you know what I mean?
Like a child son or like a thing in the sky son?
Like a child son.
Okay, thank you. All right.
And he acknowledges, like, you've given him like a kind of like a bit of insight into himself at that moment, because again, he's still pretty young. And he nods and he kind of just steps behind you to the side and behind you to leave you that kind of like,
he doesn't let him. He wants him to be front and center. So if he tries to kind of remove himself from the situation, that is not what Soto wants. Soto sees that he cares deeply for Severence. He wants him front and center, helping to do this. He doesn't want to take that agency away from him.
And when you do that, because he's going to be like, I'm going to defer to you. And when you don't let him move back, he's a little surprised. And he comes down to where Severance is, and he's like, checks Severance's pulse. He's trying to figure out if Severance is okay. And as he's doing that, Karine says, I got the word from Quint that you were leaving and that the ship needed protection, so I came up here. And when I got here, he was like this. And as you see him, he looks like he's been attacked with a blade of some sort.
Oh, wow.
Could I get from you, Soto, a melee?
Looks like he was asked a question.
It does. Can I get an int melee check from you?
I was going to say, you want int with that? Okay.
Yes, please.
Can I use...
With a boon.
With a boon? Okay. Can I use my blade version?
Yes, please. Okay. That is the appropriate version to use. And with a boon.
With a boon, int. Okay, everything's in there. Doop, doop, doop. Wow, what the... Wow, terrible roll.
Yeah.
Okay. Or it's not for you. This is what I can tell you. Because if you had succeeded, I would tell you other things. And maybe you don't want to know those things right now. But I will tell you this. It looks like he's been attacked with a blade. You're going to guess probably an axe or a pike, something like a much heavier blade. There is blood. He's clearly been injured, but there is something odd about the wound. It also looks to you as if Wesley's been trying to like fix this. There's something odd about the wound in that this is a pretty nasty wound. It's actually pretty bad, but for the length of it, it seems to be less deep than it should be. It seems to have done less damage than it should have.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine Quint would be showing up probably right about now because would have had to like park the Viper, shut down, get out, like as fast as can because we have an injured person. But is this wound, did it cut through the clothes as well, or is it bleeding through the clothes?
It is bleeding through the clothes.
That's what I thought might be the case, but I wanted to ask to make sure that my mental image was correct.
Yes. Emelisa and Quint, you are coming up from the connector. So the wound is from inside of the clothing, but it is definitely a physical wound. But it's like you know how long, like it's like if you stab somebody, let's say you just stab somebody, you know what I mean? And you go in 6 inches, you stab them 6 inches. You know how to stab people very well. But it's only 3 inches worth of stabbing. You know, it's like but the wound itself is clearly a 6-inch stab wound, but it's only 3 inches worth of effect, I guess is the best way to put it. And it didn't get through his clothing at all.
I think at this point, Rhys would come running from the auto dock with the grav sled, the grav board. And she's
Quint's
just
got a trauma pack and
running
their hand.
with it behind her. And just spins it over as Soto would look over at everyone else, but specifically Malcom. Let's get him on.
And Malcom helps, and this is when Karine says the thing. She says, so we have the auto dock, but Ferric Red Thane is in there to put...
Not for long.
And then she's like, okay, because she didn't want to go and take your injured person out, your very injured person out without directive. But the minute you say not for long, she's like...
He's been there for a few weeks. Has he recovered any?
Fuck that guy.
He actually is... He's okay. He's fine now. Well, he's still being kept unconscious, but he's been
kept unconscious, but he's like not in risk of perishing the moment he gets out of the...
Not
He's attached.
His head
Seeing
is
them
attached.
loading up... Yeah, good. His head's attached again.
Right,
That's
right,
good.
It's backwards, but it's attached, right?
Yeah,
But it's attached.
on
That's
there.
fine.
It didn't get finished.
Seeing them
but
get
it's there.
the grav sled ready for Severence, Quint would go to the auto dock to start unhooking and getting Ferric out of that, because if he starts coming to and someone needs to wrestle him down, Quint's like, I'll do it. Let the blood-soaked person do that. That'll be more intimidating.
And I would say
Get the spot ready for them.
And Karine was going to go with you, but decides instead to stay alert in case. Now, no one's coming into the ship, right? Because you've locked all the doors.
Yeah.
But just in case, right? So she's sort of like staying within vision of the airlock and the gangplank, just in case, because she doesn't know what is actually happening from the outside. So it'll be you going in. Emelisa, what are you doing?
So Soto jumped out. Rhys followed. Quint landed the Camlin Viper. Malcom followed. Quint landed the Camlin Viper. Rhys and Quint followed. We have a bunch of civilians that need to be taken care of. So she sees everybody run off and has all of these civilians that she was kidnapped with. And she's like, okay, I guess this is my problem now. She's going to see if she can find a runner. Is there a runner around here?
Yes, because... How do I put this?
Especially the would be with the air rift coming in.
Yes,
yeah.
they're always like they're on. At any moment, people might be coming to kidnap them, so they're always paying attention.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a sad life for them. They look very happy and pleasant, but they're always on alert. Like, are you going to kidnap us? Always. That's always where they are.
And I think Emelisa's also very on alert because she literally was just kidnapped and now she's alone again. So she's kind of like, oh, I don't like this, but she will have she essentially she wants one of those runners to get the government lady the government person that I was talking to come here with her guards so I can give them the evidence and get these people where they need to go. I don't want to leave the Gambler. I don't want to be away from the ship. And I'm not going to bother the crew right now because they're dealing with Severence, but and she also feels a responsibility to these people. So
and there definitely is a runner, like little flat cap kid, right? And who's like, yes, ma'am, and rushes off to go back to that complex where in the basement with guards, they have got their people who's going to sort of, and the people who you've rescued, they're not going to go anywhere. Like they are staying right by you. They've decided that you are
Safe.
that you are safe.
A reliable person, yeah.
Yeah, they're not wandering
Good.
off until guards come, right? And people are watching. You're all being watched, not in a suspicious way, but you all are kind of impressive people to them.
Yeah.
Right? You've got these two Aslan, you've got ships, right? Like you've come in with people. They give you space, but it is very clear that they don't get a lot of visitors who are not trying to kidnap them, right? And yeah.
Go ahead.
And there's also like they want you. It's no, want's not the right word. They yearn. It's like you are something. You are a possibility. You know what I mean? Like this whole ship is a possibility, but they don't even necessarily know what the possibility is. It's like when you dream of the stars, here you are, right? They're in this desperate situation, but they don't even know what to ask for, right? And so you are something very symbolic, and there's like a they watch you in that way where they're like, oh, right?
I think if Emelisa realizes she's being watched in this way, she is very much so in her. She kind of like defaults into her, not her spy mode, but like her. She's used to being watched. Eyes are always on her, so she defaults into that persona kind of thing, and is just very. If somebody comes up and asks her questions, she's very professional, very collected, very. She's not showing any of that anxiety that she has about being left alone again. So
the thing is that nobody approaches you. It's but they are clearly watching, right? Like you've got this like
normal for her.
Like on the sides over there, you've got these big anti-aircraft guns, which are again not going to be super helpful against StarCraft, but like and the people like the people who are sitting there on those anti-aircraft guns, they're watching you. They're not like, what are you up to? They're like, it's like if you were watched what was it? It was the Greg will know. The episode, was it Miri? The episode of Star Trek, the original series, when like they land and all the kids are like, ooh, who are you? Right? It's like this kind of real fascination and interest. And like you're shiny and interesting and probably important. And so people are watching you. They want to know what all of you are doing. You know what I mean? Like but they can't necessarily approach because they don't know what to say. But you know people are coming.
Okay, so that's just what Emelisa's doing. She's just waiting for that then.
I was going to say, real quick tangent. Anybody wants to go watch Miri, you get to see Bill Shatner throw a kid off a desk for real. It's the best.
Yes.
I was wondering what I needed recently, and I think that was it.
The kid was being real irritating, and Bill Shatner just chucks him to the ground. I shouldn't laugh at that, but I did, and it's funny. So there we go.
Oh, you're going to put him in the auto dock, is that correct?
I mean, for physical injuries, that's the only thing we can do.
I'm getting
right?
Ferric. I've gotten Ferric out of the auto dock, and I'm we've got like zip ties or like restraints on this ship, I'm sure. So
absolutely.
Just make sure he can't injure himself or other people when he comes to.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it'll take a number of hours for him to, since we've had him on the good.
Well, we're still keeping him. Drugs. He's not technically in the auto dock, right? We're just keeping him in the.
He's not in the chamber.
Oh, he was in the chamber.
He was because that's what you put him in there so he could.
Because that's how you keep him on the sedatives. It's like a drip.
Let's just throw him in a low berth and take our chances.
Yeah, basically you could put him in the low berth instead because the auto dock is a converted low berth into like.
And if he doesn't need the healing aspect of it, he's still under. We could technically just unplug what he's in and plug it in down there and.
Yeah, basically.
I'll get him
somewhere. Val's screaming, but yeah,
still good to zip tie him, just because don't want any potential issues.
You've got this really cool med bay and everything. Val would love it. So it's really nice. So you set up the auto dock.
He's married now, loser.
Yeah, he's married now. Doesn't care. So you put in Severence into the auto dock. And there's a flicker. as it begins to work. And by it begins to work, I mean Sal shows up, right? The Suval shows up and starts. You can see the hologram of this of Val working, and turns and goes, "Well, what happened to him?"
Soto would look around, and he has been injured with an edged weapon.
That's about right. Looks like he was injured with a axe of some sort. But it didn't go through the clothes. So it's definitely a wound, but also he should be awake, actually. Not have his injuries are not getting a lot of brain activity. Kind of brain trauma, like a concussed. Well, this is a bit strange. He should be all right. I mean, he's going to need a little bit of healing, but it shouldn't take too long. Although I don't actually quite like what I'm seeing in his brain.
As soon as Sal says that, Soto is going to look over at Rhys and nod, and Rhys is going to nod, and she is going to go up into the catwalk, and she's going to plan to jump into his mind.
Whoa!
We're going to smash cut to Emelisa. As this is happening on the outside, Emelisa,
Emelisa's still not knowing what the hell's going on.
The BCA administrator, Ura, arrives with, again, like 8 guards with guns right there. And she says, what's happening?
Yes. Hello. Good evening. I was kidnapped a little while ago by Oghman Raiders.
What?
They took me to...
No, wait. We have not had any sightings of Oghman Raiders. The ships haven't come.
They have been camping out in several warehouses in the river city. I don't know the name of it. It's a small city on the river that direction, and she just kind of points.
Yes, Sunflower Grove.
I'd love that name. And they've been camping out there. It seems I have some. And she kind of pauses for a second, and she's like, "Oh yeah, this administrator can probably read. I do have this," and I'll hand over like the laptop that they have that has all of the information that we uncovered.
She looks at this laptop.
If she needs help, I'll guide her through it. If she doesn't,
she can read, but she does not know how to use a laptop.
I'll take the time and I'll show her. I'm like, this is how you move the cursor around. This is how you click on things. Like, just give her kind of like a crash course.
And she's looking at these prisoners, and she's.
They were all also there. My crew and I, they're dealing with a crisis at the moment, but my crew and I were able to rescue them along with myself.
As you're speaking, some other people are getting closer than within earshot.
Okay.
And by that, because they want to hear what's happening too. So like somebody who's like working at this downport, one of the guards, some like one of the runners that you had. Some people are kind of just coming in to hear what is happening. They're not getting close because they don't want to upset the administrator.
They want to know the gossip. Yeah.
They want to know the gossip. Yeah.
Yeah. My crew and I, as I said, I was kidnapped. I was able to alert them as I was being kidnapped, so they were able to track my signal and this land speeder. I don't know what's the actual name of this. It's just airraft. This airraft. They were able to follow that, I believe, and find the warehouses in Sunflower Grove. I was able to get free of my bonds, and they were already on the roof. They took out the Oghman Raiders, and we were able to
them out.
Yes, they. I believe they're dead, all of them. I didn't actually check. I would have to confer with my crewmates. But they have been here for some time. It seems like this particular group of raiders have been here for about a month. And if you see here, she'll like guide her to that section where it's like, oh, there was a shift change and all that, and also some information. She doesn't say out loud. She just shows her the list of the people
You can
who
tell
have
she
been
knows what it
informing.
means. You can tell she knows what it means.
Yeah, and just on that particular note, any familial ties are no longer, from my knowledge of Oghman tendencies, no, none of these familial ties are viable anymore. Essentially because there are ears around trying to tell her that these family members of these people are all probably dead.
Yeah. While you're saying that, Severence.
Yes.
Can I get a roll?
Of course.
With a boon.
Okay.
And this will have to be your conduit roll.
Conduit roll, right, because we added that. Let's see here. Conduit. Psionic strength?
Yes, please.
Very well. Boon?
Yes, please.
Okie dokie. Good, because it was about to be a bane.
No. Boon. Excellent. Severance.
11. Yes.
You are in the auto dock right now. You are unconscious. Oh, I feel like that's maybe not the right way to describe it. What does your inner world look like? Your inner mind palace? It's usually a garden, but what is it right now?
Is it a garden or was that a harlock? No, I think it is a garden.
You had like a labyrinth, that kind of that estate, the old Marrymore estate, was actually his wife's estate.
The old Marrymore estate, that was like a labyrinth. I think it's that, except the hedges that were there are stone.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's close, but he's not in control. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're there. And you're waking up in this
space.
And you're waking up because people are talking. Somebody's talking to you. Well, not to you, but people like when you're trying to take a nap, but people are like outside the doorway just talking, you know?
Yeah.
And you hear people talking. You hear them saying, "Oh, those people from Drinax, that ship, they attacked and killed Oghman Raiders. No, did they? Yes, they did. Drinax?
I don't have eyes on them, do I? I just hear this.
If you do you look for them? To see who's speaking?
Yeah, if I can.
Well, if you tell me you would like to, then I guess you can.
Yeah, I would like to. I mean, like, if I'm in a labyrinth made of stone, then it's going to be hard for me to, like, want to look for people. But if it's coming from, like, around the corner, maybe, then I'm going to advance and then see if I can peer around the corner and see if they're there, kind of thing.
You do.
Okay.
And as you get up and peer around the corner, because you can hear their voices, and it's I don't have my voice mod up, but they're echoey. You know what I mean? Like, it's sort of odd to hear. And it's like like a really good stereo effect where it's like the voices are coming from around you, maybe around the corner. And could I get a roll from Rhys, please?
Sure.
Can I get your telepathy?
Yep. Normal, boon.
Wait, he's kind of in an off space, but you're going to be straight. It'll be a straight roll.
Okay.
In this moment.
Just straight telepathy, right?
Yes, please. Because you're wanting to, although this is actually a hard check because, no, it's not. It is not, because both of you are psionic. So this is a mind link, which is going to be a lot easier than it would be otherwise. Because, getting in the mind of other psionic people is actually not that difficult. I think it's a 4, is I think what you need.
Sure thing.
I believe. Off the top of my head. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a 4. That's all you need. Thank you. So you're looking in this space, and you are aware of a couple of things. You are bleeding. There is a huge, massive wound. And your head is like just throbbing as if somebody's like punched you in the face multiple times. And all the voices are a little bit like annoying if you think about it. But as you turn the corner, you are trying to like hear, and like it's like let me ask you a question. When you think about images of people, if you were to think of an image of people, would it be a painting, a photograph, a hologram? How do you imagine people who are not there, like images of people in this place of yours?
It would probably be a painting. I mean, he grew up in as a Vespexer, so it would probably be done through image and portrayal versus a photo or technology.
Yeah. So as you're going through this corridor, there are charcoal paintings of people on the walls, because your Vespexers don't have like oil painting, right? But you have these, like you're doing it through this other way. Mm-hmm. So there are these sort of charcoal paintings of people. And they're these people you've never seen before. Although, actually...
Like the opening credits of Fern Gully.
Yes, but they're also moving, right?
What a reference.
And they're speaking. Mm-hmm. And like you don't recognize any of them, except actually you do. That one is somebody that you traded with this week. And you talked to a bunch of people to try to see who you could trade with, and trading was actually very, very difficult because they're not on the intergalactic credit system. Everything is very, very there were some logistical challenges, but you had to speak to a number of people. You've been here an entire week. And as you are, there are a lot of people you do not recognize at all, but you recognize that person you traded with. And you actually talked to that person. You didn't get to trade with them, but because they didn't have there was no way to work with them, but you did speak to them. You have been speaking to people on this planet in this little city for an entire week. And while you do not recognize everybody who's sketched onto the wall, you do recognize a couple of them, and they're speaking and they're talking about Drinax, and they're saying that you saved people, and they're wondering about you. They're speaking about you, but also Drinax, but also the entire crew. And it's hard because it's so much pain. And as you say that, you turn one of these corners, and what do you see around this corner, Rhys?
I would say that as you round the corner, you would see a larger painting. And in this painting, all, just grays and absence of darkness, very black coal. And you would be able to make out what looks like some type of structure, very, very rudimentally drawn in the distant back. And in the foreground, you would see a large hulking shadow of a figure, and it is cradling something in its arms. And as you look, the item that is being cradled in the arms by this Hulk, you see Rhys crawl out of the painting from that spot.
I take a step back in the space, but I also let Rhys take space.
Admiral?
Rhys.
I found him!
What's going on?
It occurs to you, Severence, you don't know how to get out right now.
Right.
Because it's all stone. Usually it's...
You found me?
Yeah, I'm sorry, you're hurt. That's why I had to come in your mind and to find you.
Right. Yes. I am hurt.
Soto and everyone's taking care of you. Malcom was upset.
Sorry, Sorry, what?
It doesn't matter. They have you in the auto dock now.
Smash cut. Sal is saying to the group assembled outside in the physical space, which at the moment is Soto and Quint and Karine and Malcom and Wesley, who's there as well. Everybody but Emelisa. Sal, the holograph. By the way, well, Emelisa's not here. She didn't know, but says, well, there's no particular reason why he shouldn't be waking up right now. I mean, he's injured, but he should be able to wake up. I've just administered some stimulants. Well, he's not waking up just yet. Rhys is not in this gaggle because she's up at the catwalk, but the rest of the crew who is right there around him, you have Val who's like, don't quite know why he's not waking up. Something is
Treat his wounds, we will handle the waking up.
And the hologram says, all right. It says, it's good to see you again, Quint.
Yeah, good to see you as well. And Quint is looking at Severence at the exact gash starting at the shoulder.
Nice.
Oh, hey.
And I'm
You
like,
don't need to roll. You know what it is.
I don't think I did.
You
I didn't
don't,
think I
no.
did.
No, you don't
and
need
it's
to
just
roll.
like,
Uh-huh.
well, that's interesting.
You did
Hasn't
that.
said anything yet.
You know you did it. Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't Severance, is what Quint was thinking. It's like, it wasn't supposed to be Severance. Does that mean this is Marrymore? Because we can't talk to him right now. And it's going, oh, did Marrymore body jump into Severance? Do I need to take this out? Would this be easier to take out? Quint is like, I don't want to have to. That'd be messy. That'd be really messy.
Yeah. You know how Soto Masi failed that roll? He doesn't know that you did this to him. He doesn't recognize that this is the exact same blow. Maybe it's good that he failed that roll. I don't know. But
yeah, we'll deal with that when he wakes up. But Quint also knows that we have a bunch of refugees outside as well.
Yeah.
And put Red Fane in to the
one of the low berths.
The low berths. Oh gosh, Quint would go up to help Emelisa, but is too worried that this might not be Severance.
Worried
that this might be Marrymore. So he's gonna just looking
Fret.
very concerned, but in a different way.
Smash cut over to Emelisa for a moment, where the administrator's like, thank you. I'm going to go to the radio center and alert people. We'll take care of this. I'm going to need your entire crew to report to our center after I'm able to get the radio going. Is that all right?
We are dealing with an injury on our crew at the moment. We will let you know if that's all right.
Yes, I'm going to, but in a few hours, we'll need you to report. We'll take, and she sort of like, and she sees one, she goes, Marcus? And one of the people there clearly was a member of the BCA, right? One of the people who's been kidnapped. And he nods, and he sort of like walks up to her, and he just kind of like gives her this big hug, and she like pats, and he starts crying, of course. These people are like, they're now out of danger, and you can now see they're all beginning to start breaking down, right? And she like hugs him, and she gives a nod, and one of the soldiers, and there's gonna, like, people are gonna be coming to take them away, to give them medical care, and try to take care of them. And she says, I'm going to need, if you would, I will need you all to come to the headquarters as soon as you can. We'll need a few hours, of course, before we can receive you, but as soon as you can.
We will let the runners know when we're on our way.
Thank you. But not before. We need at least 2 hours.
I think we might need more time than that, so.
She nods. Thank you. And she's going to move them this way.
Yeah.
And
I think Emelisa, she just, as they start, she just melts away and she goes to the ship because she's very uncomfortable in this spotlight. So she's going to leave.
Smash cut back to the garden. You feel stronger, Severence, but you're still quite confused. There's still a lot going on, but right now the voices just got a little bit louder. And you hear something. You hear, they must be rewarded, honored. Do we have time to make the medals? It'll take a while, but Drinax. Like, there's clearly some kind of a shift as you're there with Rhys. Please.
This is in the background, still the same voices that I heard before?
Yeah.
Can Rhys hear these, by the way?
No.
Okay. I just want to make sure I didn't react to them then.
Rhys cannot hear them.
There was a moment where Severance is sort of like, his eyes sort of fade unfocused towards the mural behind Rhys, but almost like he's listening to something. And then he snaps focus back to Rhys.
As you were distracted, just as you would snap back, you would feel or see her hand going into yours.
Yeah.
I won't leave you, Admiral, not until you're able to get out.
Thank you. I didn't know I needed to leave. Which way would you recommend?
Just whenever you feel okay. And you can stay here as long as you want. It doesn't exhaust me to be here, so I can hang out here. I'm really just kind of sitting on the catwalk, but we can talk about whatever you'd like. This is neat.
When you say catwalk, this isn't
It's not an Aslan thing, no. It's the thing at the top.
Where?
On the Gambler?
You're on the Gambler right now?
Yeah.
But you're here right now.
With you, yeah.
Severance, it occurs to you that normally you know how to get out of here, but you don't know how to get out of here right now.
I apologize, Rhys. I don't know what you mean.
It's okay. You don't have to be one way or the other. You can just be yourself and relax, and just know that everybody's taking care of you, and I'll stay here, and
But I'm here.
Yeah.
And you're here.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone taking care of me is not here.
Well, not here, but close.
Rhys,
How close?
This is a labyrinth. You're in a hedge maze, and he sees, it seems like you can kind of see these little artifacts of what he sees. Like, you can't, like the paintings and murals, you don't fully see them. They kind of come in and out. You're kind of getting a sense of what he's seeing a little bit. And you're seeing dead ends in this maze and no way out, but you can see ways out, right? Like, there's these moments where, like, there are ways in which kind of like his vision is overlaid into this space, and you can see that the hedge maze goes left and right, and when he's looking, there's a dead end, and he can't see the way through, but you can see the way through. Does that make any sense? It's like a double vision of this maze that you're in.
Like, if you don't mind, Trooper, it's like if I was to see it, the plants of this hedge mage are made of stone.
Yeah.
But if you were to see it, they are made of vegetation that you could walk through.
Yeah.
There are tons of dead ends, but I'm not able to walk through them because they're stone to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that she would start to understand that because of that kind of split perspective she's getting, kind of phasing in and out.
Yeah.
And again, only if Severence allows this, she would have her hand in his, and she would, as confidently as she could muster, she would look up at him and say, "You don't have to do a thing. We can just walk around. Why don't you just show me take me on a tour of this place."
I could take you on a tour, but the exploration is going to be both to our own benefit. My familiarity of each of these corners and corridors are waning.
Well, I don't know him at all, so you've got the edge on me.
Very well. This way. We'll just go over here, and I just start to walk in any direction. I take a right at the first. It doesn't look like I know where I'm going. There is an awkward silence when we reach the next corridor, the next room-ish area, and then we move through, and then there's still this awkward silence as if like I'm trying to recall anything about the tour, but there isn't anything.
As soon as Rhys would see you struggling at all, she would squeeze your hand and she would say, Soto always asks me to ask you and I keep forgetting, but it sort of sounds rude. We didn't know that you were a second son.
What is this? What do you mean?
A second son? There's a first son who's born first, and then a second son. Soto's one. You guys are the same.
Second son?
Dr. Val told us you were his brother.
I'm sorry?
Dr. Valentine Morrissey?
Right, yes. An old friend, I think, yes, of a long time ago. In university, it was. I was quite a rascal back then.
He said to take care of my brother. And Soto looked at me and Soto said, "Is he a second son?" And I said, "I don't know, but it sort of seems that way."
Right. A brother. Yes. This way.
As he's guiding you through, you realize that he's stuck. He is...
The next room we go into, a left, brings us right back to the first room we were in.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, this seems familiar, but also different.
But
we
Rhys,
should probably just explore and just relax.
You see a way out. With your hand in his, you can guide him out of this place.
The leaves of the hedge maze move when you brush against it. But to me, they aren't.
Yeah.
I'm probably bumping off of it with my shoulder if we were to,
What she would do is she does not want to do anything that isn't basically Severance's idea. Yeah. And so she would say anytime she sees a way to go out, if she gets a glimpse of one of those pictures, she would say, "Do you mind? What's this one about?" And if it's towards that direction, she would kind of move towards it like she wants to get a closer look at it.
Yeah.
That is Marduk. I believe there was a moment. There are these beasts there that seem to rip reality, and they seem to be feeding off of the psionics of their prey, and utilizing and exploiting their psionic ways, or at least the reality that they perceived. They were able to then jump from one point to another. The Harlock was able to. The Harlock.
What did the Hardlock do?
Hold on, please.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Just remember and just relax.
I'm trying to relax, but I'm also trying to remember. Okay, where were we?
You were taking me on a tour.
Right. This is the mural of a planet of a. I think this is Clark, right? Is this where we were? This is and I think before you, like as we look back at the mural, it's a new mural.
Yeah.
She notices the destabilization. Then she would see that there's active fluctuation in the mind space.
Yeah.
And there is.
And Rhys, what you see, he cannot see this. There's damage here in the mind space. It's as if somebody came in with a wrecking ball, and you can see the hedge mage itself is bleeding in places. Like, you've got this beautiful, like, lush foliage with flowers, and the flowers are new because the flowers are Severence. They're not Marymore. You don't know this, but the rest of the audience does. But this hedge mage is bleeding. It's not sap, it's blood. It looks as if somebody has come in here and harmed this place. And the harm, like it's bleeding on him, right? Or he is bleeding. This is himself. You know, Rhys, that this is him. This place is a personification of him, and it has been injured. He's been injured on the outside, but there's injury in here. You can see broken pieces of.
Took place as they swooped down to take, as he moves his hand across the mural, a smear of blood, or at least this red liquid smears across his hand. It sort of sticks to his hand like a sap, but he begins to then illustrate with his hand on the mural as if and recalling the events, choppy but still with enough detail of Clark and their current mission. And then they were able to grab the fuel from this, from a delivery, and were able to then jettison off. And I guess I pull my hand away from the second dimension of this mural, and then use this third dimension as if it was something that was unpredicted and unforetold, as if a third dimension was broken and flew off in a direction towards the next room.
Seeing this and inadvertently mirroring what her older self did in the warehouse, I'm not even sure that Rhys is sure of this, but Rhys is going to use suggestion. But instead of suggesting that somebody kill their friend, she is suggesting to Severence to heal and find peace.
Can I get a suggestion roll, please?
Yep, and I'm gonna. Do you want a boon or anything like that? Just normal?
Just normal.
And what level would you like me to make this?
Suggestion is a very difficult.
Very difficult. Okay.
Nice.
Failed it by 3.
Yeah, she's going to spend 3 of her luck if that's allowed.
All right, she's got like 1 billion luck, right?
How much luck would you like to spend?
You missed it by 3, so using 3 is a minor success?
It gives you a
putting
mixed, yes.
Everything she really wants this to work. And this isn't just the wants of youth either. This is something older that is going on inside of Rhys.
Sweet.
So she is going to spend 8 luck.
Wow.
8 luck.
You were
So that
missing by
makes it
3, so 5, so plus 5.
Which makes it a extraordinary success, correct?
Plus 6 makes it extraordinary.
Then I spend 9.
Okay.
1 for every life.
This is important to know. 9. You want him to heal. Severence. In this moment, the stone, you can start seeing leaves grow through the stone. It is still stony. It's not there, but you're able to start seeing a way through this maze. A way out. You think you might be able to lead her to a door.
Brush some of the stony leaves that then bounce and flicker as they have turned to vegetation, but their sisters and brothers are still stone. And then...
That's good. That's good.
What? What is good? You see this? You
see this. I see only you.
Let's go this way. As I then take that right again, there was a moment where he goes to take the left and he goes, and then he goes to take the right again. He is now in that same room, but this time, extraordinary success. I feel like in this room is just, the walls are covered in just leaves. The stone that was there is now vegetation of green. All right. So this is peculiar. Wait.
Drinax. That's the way out, right there.
I approached one of the walls, the dead end that was before us before. I could see through it. It's vegetation. So the net of hedge that was there, I can now see into the next corridor. Before I couldn't. Before it was just a knot of vegetation that was then turned to stone. But this time I can at least see light through there. And I then what if I did this? And he reaches, he just pushes his hand through the vegetation, probably up to his shoulder, but then starts to giggle, childlike, as if...
she laughs with him.
Yeah. Okay. As...
that was good.
He then tries to continue and pull himself through or get pulled through.
And
that is up to...
In that membrane, as you're pushing through with Rhys's hand in yours, both of you together, there are just in that membrane a few more charcoal things, right? A few more charcoal images right in that sort of transition moment. And one is Quint. And Quint looks like a knight in shining armor, with a shield and with dragon wings. And it's a very idealized version of Quint. And then it is also Dame Emelisa Graves. And she is also a knight of Drinax. And as you're seeing these images, you're hearing these whispers of Drinax, not of Drinax, but of the voices of people of Borite, who are whispering. And both of these two figures, and then there is Malcom, another knight of Drinax. It's like you're passing through a corridor of knights and nobles of Drinax who are being remembered. And as you're passing through, you're passing through a jello sea, a membrane of consciousness and memory of heroes. And as you're passing through and you see, first, in this place, not everyone in this group has been knighted or officially connected to Drinax. those who have Dame Emelisa, Quint, Malcom, you see them as you're passing through this membrane, but the people of this planet are also thinking of Rhys and Soto. And also, they're not thinking of Karine because she is not this heroic image. They did not see her coming in and out, right, in this like rescue mission. So they don't necessarily know her, but they do know Rhys and Soto. They're very obvious people, but those two figures have not been knighted. So a particular kind of connection is not, that circuit has not been completed, but they are flickering there. The people of Borite are dreaming of them. And so they, as you walk through this membrane, they're not as solid in the same way, but they're being dreamed of, and you are connecting the dreams of them, and you come out, and you open your eyes, and you are in the autodock, the low berth. Quint, Emelisa, who's come inside, the rest of you who are in this physical space. Severence's eyes open. And Sue says, "Oh, I don't know what happened there. It was a bit of a spike of brain activity, but seems to be awake." Severance, you have the worst headache you've ever had. But I would like you to heal 6 intellectual damage.
Oh.
That, I believe, was the margin of success.
Hey, nice. Thank you, Rhys.
Quint would kind
You
of
have 12.
still tense, not any less tense than before he was awake, will just go, Severance?
And that's where we're going to take our break. We're gonna hit our break right about now.
Nice.
That healing came from that extraordinary success.
Yeah. Thank you, Greg. That was sick.
We're going to take our break. I would like you all to hydrate, stretch your legs, and when we come back, well, I guess that people might have some questions. And the people of Borite are dreaming of our heroes.
Will Emelisa finally figure out what the plot is?
Nope.
Find out
Never.
soon. Yeah, nope. Find out soon.
Maybe. We'll find out after this break. We'll be right back, everybody. Ciao. Everyone, we are back. We are back. Hey, people in the audience, it's good to see you. When last we left our crew, Marymore was quite injured, both physically and mentally, psionically, by someone.
Who was?
Oh, Severance. So sorry. Was super injured. Just checking. And could not get out of the mental spot, right? His mind had been injured to the point where, even though he actually also was still physically injured, he could not get out of the mental maze. And Rhys jumped into his mind and pulled him, helped guide him out, helped aid him in getting out. That said, there's a roll that needs to be made, and I think that I'm going to force Greg to make this roll because it is his fault. And by fault, I mean goodness. We have an autodoc, and that autodoc was paid for by Val. So would you make the first aid roll for me? It is a 2d6 plus 4.
I so wanted to pull out Val's old character sheet and make it through that, but yeah, 2d6 plus 4. Here we go. Look at that. Thank you, Val.
Val.
From beyond.
That is Val. So that is a 16.
Oh, wow.
Which means you make that by 8. You may heal. This is our first aid, your first aid check, because you got him in time into the auto dock. You can heal 8 of your endurance.
Are you talking to me or Red Thing?
I'm talking to Severence.
Hey, nice. 8 of
Red
my
Thing has been
endurance.
healing for
That's
quite some
all
time.
of my endurance plus 1.
Oh, so
Nice.
can I get Greg? Can you describe the ways in which Sal is able to stitch at least the physicals back together?
Sure, yeah, and I would say that this is basically, having studied vids and things like that of Valentine Morrissey's own technique,
Yeah.
and then basically, incorporating those same maneuvers and those same disciplines and things of that nature. And to see the two of them, if you would have Val side by side with Sal in this moment, they look to be one and the same.
Yeah.
And so as it's an expert card shark shuffling cards. Yeah. It's a dancer without par spinning across the floor. In this moment, there's a spotlight and it's on one person, and that's Sal. But Sal's see-through and Val's just behind.
Yeah. And as Sal, right, is doing this amazing work to stitch you back together, I'm going to just do a little smash cut outside on Borite, somewhere else on this planet, where someone has been injured. And they don't have a holographic doctor and an auto doc. They have some old sawbones with some thread who cannot read, right? Stitching people together, having some whiskey for your anesthetic. And this is a planet like many planets in this system that does not have the technology that you have. And this ship on more than one occasion has gone out to try to help people in the ways that they can. And that help is in many ways, it's a kind of a strange thing. If we lived in a different science fiction setting where the people of the planet didn't realize that other people had this technology, they would think you were gods. But they know that other planets have this technology. They just don't, right? So you are not gods, but you are those people who can come in and you can fix their atmosphere pump. You have 3D printers. Like, you have this amazing technology, and you came in and you saved them. And they are talking about you. And they're thinking about you. And as Severance's wounds are being stitched together, and somewhere else, people who have been traumatized are being reunited with their family and debriefed and talked through. Borite and the ways that Soto spoke of Drinax. The PR, but the help. Borite dreams of you all. As our crew is in the hold, I'm going to turn it over to you because I do believe there's some conversations people wanted to have. And if you recall, Quint, they said, Severence?
Severance? I also want to say, because it popped into my mind, would have grabbed the injured Oghman guy, zip tied him, and he's probably still unconscious in the Camelot Viper. We'll hand him over to the authorities. Yeah, I just wanted to get that out there. But yes,
I assumed you did. I
just wanted to put it on file.
Yeah. Thank you for putting it on file, because because the audience needs to know. I just figured you did not leave him there. I assumed you threw him in the Camelot Viper.
Yeah. Okay. Severance.
There is a moment where his eyes open. He looks in your direction. His eyes aren't focused. It's almost like he's looking, just past you or beyond you.
And the auto dock, Sal opens up the auto dock so that you can get out of your pod, right? I don't know why, but I always think of the auto, of those low berths, and the auto dock is connected to a low berth as being like from Alien.
Dude, I was just gonna say that from Aliens. Whenever all the Marines woke up, that's exactly what I thought of too.
that's just how I see it. I'm that's what I see there.
Yeah.
I gotta look it up now. Alien Marines wake up. What should I look this up?
Aliens Marine wake up. Just pods.
Oh, the pods. Cool. Thank you.
Speaking of which, whenever it looks exactly like one of the Marine opens from the Sulaco. As soon as it opens up, Soto would look down and simply say,
Welcome back, Admiral.
and then he would move his spot and make sure that Malcolm takes the spot where he was.
And Malcolm is right there, Johnny, in the spot. It's like, Severence, are you all right, sir? Admiral? Baron?
I think he's sort of has trouble focusing, but then he does finally focus over. Is Rhys in the room?
She would probably pad in right about now.
Yeah, I think that's probably that would be the distraction, and then he would look over, and that's where he would catch focus and go, I think so. Yes, I'm.
She would just wave.
He acknowledges with a small nod. His eyes blink slowly as he tries to find focus. They're a little bit dilated. He's still trying to block out some of the light. But he says he's okay, but if you were to make a medicine or an insight check, it would be more like he is just enduring, and he wouldn't be able to make any big decisions. Cognitively, he's not there, but he is available.
But is he reading as Severence, or is he reading as Marymore?
Oh, he'd be reading. He would not be reading as the guy in the zombie. This is
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And then Quint would finally, seeing that, paying attention for a couple minutes, would finally then relax.
And Karine says, "Okay, but who did this to you? Are they I asked the computer. There's no one else in the ship. So who did this to you? What happened?"
Yes, Severance. What do you remember?
And Malcolm goes, "Do we need to do this right now? I mean, he's clearly still hurt."
I remember I was lost in a labyrinth of stone or a shifting material.
The people who are not psionically gifted and don't actually really understand the psionics, which would include Malcolm and Karine, and also Wesley. Wesley has a bit of there's a question mark, because you are saying, I imagine maybe also Emelisa, that's a weird thing. Some people have not been pulled into a psionic space and they don't quite know what you mean, but you do seem to be confused. So
yeah, there wasn't. That was it. Then I fell through the vegetation, and now I'm here.
But who attacked you?
Looks. Attack me.
And you can tell Malcolm's getting really ticked off that Karine wants to do business. Because Karine's very clear, if there's a danger, I want to know what it is. And Malcolm's don't mess with my knight. He needs to recover, right? So there's clearly some ongoing tension there. They're
Right. Who attacked me?
Yes.
Do you remember what you were doing before you got lost?
I think Rhys would see this too and is kind of scared to say anything.
And Quint would also put a hand on Karine's shoulder to be calm Karine down a little bit as well.
I think Rhys would go up to Emelisa and be like, I think they should let him rest. But she's not an adult, and this is a room full of them, and she doesn't feel like saying that.
Yeah.
Why don't we all just leave him alone? You're right.
Yeah, and I think Emelisa is very much so in the same mentality as Karine, and she wants answers because she did not like what she saw in that warehouse. But she, I think Emelisa's an incredibly empathetic person, and she herself has a concussion right now, so she's like, maybe we need to come back to the table. So she will she'll look at Rhys and just nod her agreement, and then step up and perhaps we should give Severence some she wouldn't say Severence, she doesn't call anybody by their first name except Quint and Soto, because they don't have titles. Well, Quint does have a title. She would call Quint Night Vesper. Anyway, sidetracking. I think perhaps we should give the Admiral some time to rest and recollect his memory, and then we can reconvene. Perhaps, and she'll glance at like Malcom and Karine, we can all get some dinner ready. I think we could all do with some food.
And Karine sort of like, Karine will follow rules unless she's a waitress in a bar and she needs to stab you. So she just sort of like nods, not with a whole lot of, she doesn't have a lot of frustration. She lets things go. Do you know what I mean? She's not a person who like sits on things for a long time. So when you say that, she's like,
Karine's not a person who sits on things for a long time. She's the person who has the most grudges in this entire place.
Doesn't she hate me?
Yeah, absolutely. But there's a difference, like between like she's gonna hold a grudge, but if you're like, I can't do this right now, she's like, well, I'm gonna go and
do something to occupy
have a beer.
Time. Yeah,
like you know what I mean?
Okay,
Like she's that kind of person who's like, not my job. She's that person who's just like, she'll make that attempt, but she'll hold a grudge though. But she's not super invested in fighting for administrative things in certain ways, right? Not in that way, but she does hold grudges. So she lets that go. And Malcom just looks thankful.
Yes, Emelisa, you are correct.
I wasn't
Get
attacked.
some rest. Okay.
I was exposed. A feeling of... I'm sorry, what?
Get some rest. We'll talk more about this after your headache has subsided.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And I'll... Karine,
Rise
out.
to get comfortable.
Wesley walks up to Soto as everybody is bidding to leave and goes, Mr. Masi?
Yes?
And he pulls out a tablet and he like clicks some things and he hits, and what you see is like security footage of the inside of the hold. And you see Severence just standing there, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a wound erupts. As if a ghost knife attacked him. He goes, I don't know what to make of this. And you can see that he's telling you because you're the head of security. It is like basically everyone has accepted that you are the head of security. And so he shows it to you, and he just doesn't quite understand what it is, but you see what happened. By the way, you don't need to roll them out. It is the mirror of what you saw when Quint attacked the zombie.
So that puts it together for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Because it's right there.
So he would at no point either, whether it bleeds over culturally, is Soto trying to be condescending. He's never trying to do that. But he would pat Wesley on the shoulder.
Good. This is good. I will review this with the Admiral when time and rest permits. You did well.
He just hands you his tablet. He's like, because you don't have one, so he's just gonna hand it to you, so that you can.
To Rhys.
Oh, okay, and like, he's very excited to go and have an excuse to hand this to Rhys, which he does. Just like, he's gonna hang out with me. He's gonna give Rhys the tablet. I think Malcom is going up there to help cook, to get everything ready. to make a meal for you all.
I'm gonna get the prisoner.
I would like to do something different.
Absolutely.
Is there a way? And
Yes.
this seems like the perfect planet for this because it's very like agricultural. And if this is too much, just stop me. Soto, who is used to campaigns and being in the field and things of that nature, and because of the last little bit that he had in the recruitment of our pirate crew, he is going to go outside and he is going to find a place that does not seem to be doesn't belong to anybody close to these, and he is going to start setting up a fire pit.
Absolutely.
And again, manufacturing or whatever he needs to do. Maybe Wesley can help him. As he gets a grate and he is making a makeshift wood fire grill. And any of the populace that is by, he would simply say, "If you have anything to add, it is bring your own dish." And he would just wave as he starts cooking. And he's just going to be out there like he's in the field and see what he sees.
Can I get give me a recon?
Any boon or anything cool like that?
Just routine.
Routine.
Not so hard.
Oh, crap. Hold on. There we go.
Yeah, I thought as much. So here's the thing. You have to go a little bit out of the ways to build up a fire pit. You have to kind of go a little bit outside. But I don't know if have you ever been to one of those airfields that are really small? Like not like the big airfields, but like if you go like, like you go to like, for me, San Angelo, Texas is one of those places you take a prop plane. You'd come in Dallas, Fort Worth, and you have to take one of those prop planes to like San Angelo, and it's like a much smaller airport.
My hometown is a regional airport, and my buddy, his dad would take us to see the World War II planes when they would fly in for the shows and stuff. So, but incredibly small, one runway, not even a taxi lane. I mean, it was just all one thing. So,
and you know how
I am familiar.
Oh, you're familiar, and you know how those places are often like the city's right over there, but it's actually kind of like they're fields. Like it's like there's like open spaces just right over there. You can just like walk right over there and there it is, right? So you're in a part of this place where you're actually not far from where you could go and set up a fire pit, right? Like if you're in the middle of the city, that would be different, but you're just adjacent to it in this way that you can find this place.
That's what I figured too, yeah. So that's what he's doing.
But the thing is, as you're setting it up and people come, there are things you notice. And one of the things you notice is this is kind of like a movie set in the sense that this is their big city, but it's actually not that big. And all of that, as you're sitting on the side, right, you can see the welcome center, the visitor center that's like so high tech and cool, but that's kind of it. You know what I mean? And they put it front and center. So like, because you're off to the side now, right? When you come in and you land, you see the 3 cool buildings that they have that are a little bit taller. But from the side, when you can see the back of that space, you realize this is actually maybe not a lot of buildings over 2 stories. They've got all their security right around here, but they don't have a lot after that. That this is it's a bit more villagey than it looks like at the first bit, And when people come in, they do. And you also notice that a lot of things are about memory and song and poems, reciting things, right? Because nobody's allowed to read. So there are a lot of mnemonics that they do, a lot of kind of little chants that you kind of see this culture lay out in front of you that on one level looks modern-ish, but is based on a kind of an oral tradition. And this fire pit, you realize, is something a lot more comfortable and familiar for them, right? That you kind of hit the ways in which this culture shares community, because they are not actually they're not atomized and separate, because they actually are not, that's not they still have to communicate face to face for the most part, right? And so that this fire pit is exactly what you hit upon, the thing that actually connects to their culture more strongly, because they don't eat in this kind of separate kind of a way. And they come in and you can sense them first tentatively making sure it's safe and then feeling more comfortable, right? And more people come, and it's a moment where you're like, oh, this was it. This is the thing that makes them feel connected and more at home.
Fantastic. And this is what, so very similar to like a military campaign, but also whenever Soto and Rhys were living on a seam, they were in the town of Alleluia, and everything there is very like old Mexico, you know, very, a lot of cultural and color and music and dance. And he's just defaulting back to that. You know, there's a symbiotic relationship to groups like this that have a shared experience. And he is, and so even though he's not doing it to kind of like get closer to them, Soto, if somebody walks by and they're humming something, just because, you know, he plays, he would stop them and maybe even frighten them at first by being like, no, sing that again. And then when they realize that he's like legitimately into it, they're like, that's beautiful. You know, like, like it's something that is, but again, I'd say it would be within 30, 40, an hour. He's out there with the equivalent of whatever they would call like an ale or a beer, as he's sitting there humming along and singing along with whatever they have as the meats begin to cook and all that good stuff.
And you are hearing, this is, so if everybody's out there, right? I think Rhys, I think most people except for Soto would get some of this, but I think a lot of the crew would get the rest of it. Some of the songs that they're singing, you can hear they're singing these songs. It's actually, it's kind of, there's a moment of like, also there's a moment of relief and security and these really good feelings, and these songs are being sung. And because of Soto, because of how Aslan males are, he won't pick up on all of this, but certainly our tech savvy people would. Many of their songs are actually manual instructions on how to do things, right? They've turned a lot of the technological things that they can no longer read or write into songs so they can remember them, right? How to fix things, some of the kind of technical, like, and they're singing because you've encouraged them to and they're feeling this joy, but some of the songs are technical manuals, right? Some of these songs...
But see... That fits so well. Soto's been studying mechanics, and he had no idea. Like years ago, he would have no idea what they were talking about. But now they're singing things that he's just learned, and so he is. He's just forgetting everything for a bit. He's just having some fun.
Yeah, and I think that all the mechanics stuff, he would totally get that. And it's this moment you're like, oh, it's like how carburetors work, right? Like all of these things are part of their song, and there is this joy in this moment. And what is everyone else doing in our fire pit?
Quint wouldn't have gotten the prisoner yet. Quint would have taken a really fast shower first.
Oh, that's good.
Quint would have taken a real fast shower and then probably gotten something to eat at the fire pit before dealing with the prisoner. Like, you know, he's tied up. He's very tied up on the Camlin Viper.
Karine would actually take him for you, right? Like, and because she
I imagine this is the scene of Quint taking a really fast shower. Karine sitting outside of the bathroom door. Quint yelling through the bathroom door, washing blood out of the hair, bringing Karine up to date on what happened, at least minus the cyanic stuff, and then ask if she would take the Oghman prisoner to turn him in, and then meet at the fire pit. And Quint would bring a bunch of meat from the kitchen. Eat protein after fighting.
Yeah.
And would be recording all of these songs and probably ask about some of these songs. Like eating a steak. Just a steak. No potatoes. Just meat. And probably like making notes of what tech level songs they're at, and if Drinax could bring more. And ask. This is the question I had. How do they have any music playing devices? Do they have any like gramophones or recorders, because that is a little lower.
It is. So the thing is, they do have some of that tech, but they don't bring it out, right? Like what you notice is that they are really, really careful about not. It's like it's bad luck if the sun can look on your technology, right? Like they are very.
Yes, Quint would ask if someone would be willing to show them, like take Quint to their house and then show them, and if there was any songs related to this tech, so Quint can, if we pass by, bring them new songs to play on this tech that might give them a little more of an advantage.
Wax cylinders.
Wax cylinders, okay.
Wax cylinders is what they've got.
Okay.
Like, cranks.
Yep.
And winding up.
Yep.
Yeah, but they've got kind of like guitars. They've got some wax cylinders for recording.
Okay.
But there is a very good feeling.
And if they have any technical manual songs for the wax cylinders, Quint would ask for a song about that, and then would maybe be recording their earring. Because it'd be good to let Drinax know exactly where they're at as well, and how we can relay information to them.
Emelisa, how are you doing at this fire pit?
Yeah, I think Emelisa, I was trying to figure out what she would be doing in this, because I think she's a little bit like a lost duck in this. So I think she'd be trailing after crew members, just kind of just not... It's not that she's being antisocial, she just doesn't want to feel alone with a bunch of strangers. So like if like she'll help Malcolm carry some meats down, and then Malcolm goes and talks to somebody and is busy, she moves over to Quint, and then Quint goes off and does something, and she'll move over to Karine, even though Karine hates her. Like she's not being super social, but she's very much so trying not to impose on anybody while also not being alone with somebody who's not a member of the Gambler. And she's just very much so observing.
Could I get an intellect engineering check?
Yeah.
You notice that an air pump is on the fritz, so you should fix it.
You said intellect engineering, normal.
Any engineering will do. If you have a special edition, it's fine.
Well, no, my education's better, but it's fine. Just an average.
Routine.
Okay. Not as good. Okay.
All these songs are happening, right? And of course, you recognize that some of these are technical songs. You all do. You also recognize that some of them are wrong. What I mean by that is some of these songs are a much higher tech level than these people understand what they're singing, right? That some of them are clearly songs that are still working songs that they're working with, but other songs are things they have still remembered, but like some of them are like your tech level because they're still from old Drinax. So they're like, 13, 14, tech level 13, 14, 15 songs.
It's like playing Skrillex in the 50s.
Yeah, right. And so also sometimes it's wrong. Sometimes they haven't remembered all the parts right because they're not using this song because they don't even have the technology here to do it. But you can see that they're preserving some of these songs that are things that you learned in school that they do not have access to, and they don't even actually know what they're singing about. They're just singing them, and because you caught a couple of mistakes here or there,
Yeah.
But what I can tell you is they clearly have that. They were at one point in time a society that was part of Drinax, right? That had that level of technology, and all they have are these kind of memories of it, but not knowing what it means.
I think that makes Emelisa a little sad.
Yeah.
And then she just, like a duck, follows crew members around.
And Severence, what about you?
Severence is still at the auto dock?
Well, no, you got a clean bill of health. You still got a bit of it.
He can walk around just lost.
Yeah, because all of your endurance is up. You're back. You just have a headache. You know what I mean? Like you still got. Because I think you're not at full int, right?
No, I think I'm missing 2, I think.
Yeah, so you've got like a lingering headache. But Wesley definitely would want to make sure you went out and got your food. Like people are paying it. Wesley especially is paying attention to you.
I was going to say Rhys is no far. Anytime you would look around, she's within 20 feet. No matter where you move, she's within 20 feet.
Yeah, crazy, weird.
That Wesley and Rhys are around each other. That's wild. But
it's almost like Rhys feels guilty. All right, cool.
What?
Severence. I think Severance is quiet. There isn't much of a confident air to him as there usually is.
Yeah.
He will probably be eating by the fire pit, but he won't be making his own food. He'll probably just sort of linger and then be thinking a lot of the time until someone sort of nudges him and is like, "Here, eat this," and then oh yes, and then he'll eat it. But he's still recovering. Cognitively, he's a bit slower than normal.
Yeah.
It's almost like he may have a clean bill of health, but he's still like slowed by some sort of haunting. There is something that is still on his mind that is still that he's still sort of processing.
Also, it's a weird thing to think about, but we have the technology to heal. You had a pretty nasty wound, and we were able to heal you up. The autodoc was, but I always feel like it's like when you get yourself stitched up and you're technically fine, and the doctor's like, "You're good," and you're like, "Am I though?" Like, you know what I mean? When you're like,
yeah, and you're like, "I'm still recovering." Yeah. It's like in D&D where you're like, "Oh, you just took a shit ton of health, and I just healed you. You're fine," and you're like, "Am I?" Because I just took a lot of bodily harm. I'm still gonna ache, I think.
Yeah,
right?
and
I still
like
went
the
through all the
stitches are
pain.
new. Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Imagine the skin is tight, in that kind of a way.
Right, where it's like, it may have you may have been stitched and the recovery time is not there, but there's still going to be
itching
and tight skin. Yeah, it's weird. But that being said, clean bill of health, sure, but like there's still going to be a lot of processing. Like the brain doesn't just go, "All right, I'm fine." The brain never goes, "All right, I'm fine." The brain has to process through and then work through healing. And that's sort of what's happening here is like, even though the body's fine, he still is missing 4 intellect, but like that is still can be represented in the fact that like he still has to process what's going on.
Yeah.
He hasn't ever taken intellect damage.
No.
Usually, or at least in the campaign. So like it's rare to see happen. So there's a lot. I think that's, like I said, there's something that's more haunting him and haunting his processing of this whole thing versus a headache, because a headache you can just like squint past, right?
Right. Because it's a little bit deeper than that.
Yeah.
I will say that I don't know who would pick up on this, but
Rhys.
There are people here who know Kirsch. I'm going to just note that. There are people here who know Kirsch. Not many people, but there are people who know him. He has clearly been to this planet before. And he has
Oghman, like people from Oghman know Kirsch.
No, people from Borite. People from Borite.
Borite. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're here. We're here at Borite. Yeah. All right.
Somebody might have mentioned him, right? I think Kirsch probably does show up, and there are people who know him, which does make sense because he clearly is going to have to go through Borite multiple times to get to the Rat King, right? So he has been through this area multiple times. Nobody comes here, but he certainly has been here before, and so you're like, oh, people actually know him, and there are people who like him too, right? And you're like, oh, that's interesting. But I would say there is a moment. It's been, we're getting dark, right, in the evening, when lights, I would like, kind of old jalopy lights as a vehicle sort of comes up. And you've got this sort of bright sort of firelight. And people are having a good time. It took a while before you got the technical songs. They don't tend to sing those in front of strangers, but they did with you all. They feel comfortable. And the guards step out. This like phalanx of guards. And out protecting Administrator Ura And she sort of steps out, and there are, I will note this, you rarely see more than one, really almost never more than two BCA people together at the same time. You know, there are a lot of them, but they're almost never.
Right. Because that's dangerous.
Because that's super dangerous. They don't want to have, like, oh,
that's
just
They
kidnap
must
two
feel
of them.
so safe
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah. And so there are two of them.
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe that's
And
what I say.
you actually do get a third. So there are three of them that come out. And the Administrator Ura comes up first, and she goes, everyone, if you would. And there's like, it takes a moment for people to calm down because people are feeling pretty good. Karine is drinking. She's having a lovely time. She's wanting to,
That's how we can gauge if it's a good time or not. Karine drinking? All right, great. How Karine's vibes?
Yeah, her vibe, she's having a good time. She wants to like, she's
great.
messing with townspeople. She wants to throw knives with people. She's feeling pretty good right now.
When
and
she
the
doesn't
Administrator
want to throw
Ura.
knives, that's when we
But they
worry.
don't often get to have someone from Marduk who understands their struggle pretty much exactly the same. So
Yeah. Like she's actually, it's interesting because she is having, like, this is actually kind of like a, she name checked Marduk. These people are, these are, she's from the planet right next to her who's also kidnapped all the time, right? And so this is like a space that is actually very, and this is your first time in Marduk, and she never left her planet because she never got to leave her planet. So that she's having a really serious time here. Not serious in like, but like, these are people who understand my struggle, and she's talking to them, and she has been doing. She does get it, but also she was gone almost the entire week you were here. She's been talking to people, is what she's been doing, right? She's been really sort of very present in this place. And the Administrator says, and this Administrator, she's got like, she's graying. She's got her hair, like black hair in a bun, long, like black hair, straight hair, graying a little bit. She's kind of got olive skin, Administrator Ura. And she's got that thinness that you get when you're like, so you know how some people when they get older, they get heavier, and some people when they get older, they get thinner. She's kind of got that thinness about her. She looks frail because she's not particularly tall. She looks like she's probably like 4'11", 5 foot, like right around there. But you also, if you look at her tendons, like in her hands, you know she's strong, right? So she's got that kind of like you know, like a nun, you don't want to be hit with a ruler
Strong
by
like
a nun. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, you may be older, but like, okay. And she's waiting for people to calm down.
A nun is a really, now my favorite comparison.
Strong like a nun. And she goes,
she's got strong hands like a nun.
Everyone, I would need your attention. Takes a moment. The crew of the Gambler of the planet of Drinax. Would you please rise and stand before me?
The last to rise is probably the Admiral as he finds his, I guess we're standing.
I call first forward your captain, Admiral Severence. Admiral Baron Severence, could you please step forward?
There's an awkward pause. He catches the fact that everyone's sort of looking at him, and then and then he steps forward.
You are the captain of this ship. And as the captain, you are the first...
Admiral.
She looks a little confused. Yes. Admiral. I am the BC Administrator Ura. And this particular sector is my sector. Today, you returned 3 citizens of my sector to me and to their homes. You let us know about those of us who have betrayed our families and sold out those they cared about. You have protected us from the Oghman Raiders. You may not know what it's like to deal with the Oghman Raiders. Over there, you can see the air raid sirens. No one here lives outside of air siren rain. We have them all across this planet, and we all live within their sound. Because you never know when they will arrive. Ships upon ships. But this day, you protected us and saved our people. And so, Severence, by the way, that tickling in the back of your head as if people are thinking about you again, right? That kind of strange whisper of people talking about you.
They believe in me.
Yeah, right? You're hearing it.
The only way I could actually be in a corporeal form is if enough people believe in Severence.
It's true.
Yeah.
If they don't, then...
Thank you. Yep. Clap your hands and then I'm here.
They might believe in Marymore.
That's right.
So, we would like, on behalf of the entire planet of Borite and the Borite Continuity Authority, do hereby award you Admiral Baron Severance with the Medal of Valor of Borite. And one of the BCA people steps forward, and there is a box, and he opens it up, and she pulls out this medal on a ribbon, right? And it's this sort of beautiful a ribbon in the sort of the different rusts and reds of Borite, with this big round medal made of Borite, hand stamped and created.
Hexagonal.
Right? Hexagonal, because it's the future. You have to have hexagons.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And it's Borite, so you have to have it this sort of hexagonal medal that has on it like a hammer, like a hammer and a pick there, and in it there's a stylized heart, and she drapes it over your head. Thank you. Please wear this with honor.
He flinches, but then lets it settle on his shoulders.
And as the admiral and the captain of this crew, could you call forth each of your crew members one by one, so that I may also award them? And this seems to you to be part of a ceremony, right? That the leader is the one who calls forth the ones that they care for, right, for recognition.
Mm-hmm.
That it would not be proper for her to call each one of them out individually. That is, right, that it's sort of like a holdover of a kind of a feudal thing, right? That it is your space to call forth your crew.
He first goes up to Quint. He goes, this is Quint Vesper.
Quint will get up, or is up, and we'll just approach.
Quint Vesper. Title? She looks over to Severance. Knight Quint Vesper of Drinax. For your valor and your bravery, we, the people of Borite, and in the name of the Borite Continuity Authority, we hereby witness your bravery and the ways in which you aided us all. And so we award you this Medal of Valor. And she's got her other person with her who opens up the next box. She takes out this medal, and she hands it, and she drapes it over your head.
Quint would do a Drinaxian knightly bow.
There's a moment when she stops and she's startled. And it's like you reminded her of something from her childhood. And she gives you a Drinaxian bow in return. It's not very good. It is clearly morphed through a couple hundred years, right? It has drifted quite some, but the core of it is still there a little bit, right? This slight dance move. It's not quite there, but she had remembered from her childhood that was how they used to do it back when, and no one has ever done it. And then she sees you do it, and then she gives you it's almost the same, right? Back in return. And there's this little smile on her face as if that was like a special gift.
Quint, if looks pretty cool, but might be trying a little hard not to cry. Just a little tear up a little bit. Playing it cool. Standing, goes back to where they were.
And she turns to Severence to introduce the next member of the crew.
This is... he's just gesturing to Karine.
Karine looks at you. There's this awkward pause as Severance seems to be struggling.
Yeah, there's a panic as he's trying to find the synapse of that is her name.
You would feel a hand in yours as Rhys would just hold, like, not visible to anybody else, just in the line with everyone.
And Wesley sort of like taking cue from Rhys. It just kind of leans over and goes, Karine?
Karine. This is Karine. And then everything starts to snap back for him. One of our gunners and fine security member from Marduk.
And there's like
a knight as well.
And when you say Marduk, there's this look, you can see this look on people's faces like, oh, one of our, like the other planet that gets screwed over so badly. There's this like, this sort of sense of like, oh, this is one of our fellow people, right? And she says, you know, your planet is one that, like ours, struggles against the bane of the Oghman Raiders. And it is a marvel that you have arrived with us in this space, and we are grateful for it. In the name of Borite and the BCA, we award you this Medal of Valor. And she places the medal on over Karine's neck. And Karine looks super angry, jaw clenched, just really not going to cry, because just like, hostile face, just hostile face.
I've always wanted a medal.
And
Quint has pulled on the mask to be like not evidence of any facial emotion. Just be like, cool, medal, mask, we're cool. We're not crying. It's fine.
People understand emotions may start understanding that her anger is maybe not anger. That is just like her. Ura steps to the next person and looks to Severance.
This is, as he gestures towards Emelisa, our newest dame.
Wesley goes, Emelisa Graves?
Graves, yeah, Emelisa Graves, newest of the fine astrogator, and yes, dame.
Emelisa will step up.
And Ura says, Dame Emelisa Graves, we are filled with sorrow that we could not protect you. We thought that this star town was at least safe from Oghma. We were not aware, and for that, we are filled with shame. I hope that you can forgive us for not having kept you safe from step to step. We would like to thank you for helping save our people as you saved yourself. But more importantly, if you had not repaired our atmospheric pump, I don't know if we would survive at all. You have saved us twice. You will never know the depth of our gratitude. When many would not, you did. And so, we thank you with all of our hearts and award you this Medal of Valor for your service. And she places the medal around your neck.
Emelisa kind of... Sorry, go ahead.
And she also, when she does, she just clasps your hand. She hasn't done that to anyone else, but she clasps your hands, right? And places it up against her chest.
I think as she does that, just quietly between me and the administrator, she'll just... anytime Borite needs help, Drinax and I will do our best to be there.
She is about the age of your mother. And she has this... There is a profound look, right, that she is giving you, as if nobody has helped them in a really long time, right? And you were the first to step up, and it clearly means something to her, and you can see her, like, tearing up, but, like, getting ready for the next person as she turns to the Admiral to step to the next one.
This is... he's staring at Soto. He looks down at the lock of hair. Soto Masi. Marine.
Rhys whispers from the side of you, he won't take it, as Soto steps forward, and she stops saying whatever she was going to say.
And this woman looks... You are quite tall, and she's very, very short.
Right.
And she's got this look on her face like, and she says, Soto Masi, Marine, you have been seen about this town, speaking with others. We are a planet that cannot leave this place. We do not travel the stars. People do not visit. But sometimes rumors and stories visit, and they speak of the Aslan in unkind ways. We have never been mistreated by Aslan, rather only by Oghman. If anyone comes to ask us how we feel about the Aslan, we will remember your name, and we will sing your name to them. You are always welcome in Borite. You are a friend, and we will stand by you even when you are not here. Thank you so much for lending your experience and ferocity and your voice and your songs to us here on Borite. The Borite Continuity Authority and myself wish to thank you for showing us someone we've never seen before and showing us what songs were wrong and what songs we should sing next. And so we award you this Medal of Valor for your bravery and your service. And she realizes there's no way she's going to be able to get this over your head because you are way too tall for her.
Soto leans down, but he leans down in a whisper that could probably be heard for 30 feet.
Yeah.
As he says,
To this, I mean no disrespect.
and he would take the medal, but he would open up the ribbon into a circle, and he would turn and look through the circle at all of the gathered Borite populace, and he would turn back around. Yeah, the Boritians. He would turn back around until he got to the administrator, and he would say,
This is for valor.
And he would look over, and Rhys would say a word in Troke, and he would nod as if that's what he thought. And he would take the loop.
You are the one that is in charge. You are the one that they all look to take.
and he would point to the anti-aircraft guns.
Yep.
He would point to the siren that she pointed to that warns of air raid, and he would say,
There is only one that deserves the valor this day.
And he would put it around her neck.
And she's sort of surprised, and but she's also a diplomat, right? And she's like, okay, this is an alien race that I've only heard like really terrible things about, and all those terrible things are clearly not true. So she doesn't know what all of his protocols are, but she seems very moved by this, and she says, like, what do in your culture? Can I? And she sort of puts her hands out, like, for like a class, but she offers them to you. She's not quite sure if that is doable or allowable.
Do you wish to?
And he would look over and say something to Rhys, and Rhys would say something back.
Honor us?
Yes. Yes.
What do I want?
And he would take the hands and he would move them up into a dance position. And he would look at the rest of them and say,
I would like to hear Borite sing.
And there's like just a small pause. And there are some people that Karine had been drinking with, and one of them starts singing up like it's a drinking song. It's like oh no, way more jig-like, way more upbeat than that. And they will start singing, and you can start hearing some stomping on the ground. And she will dance with you.
I think I interrupted the medal ceremony, but that's what he wanted.
That's fine.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
And it's like, and she is spry, right? Like she can still dance. And there's this moment where people like clap and stamp. And when the dance is over, she, like, part of her hair is sort of fallen down, sort of come out of the bun. And she says, well, I have not been danced with that way since my husband was kidnapped over 2 decades ago. It makes me feel young again. Thank you. Thank you very much. My. And she's a little blushing a little bit, like, oh my goodness. She's blushing a little bit because she's not had a dance in quite some time. Sorry, Admiral.
Yes.
And she sort of points to the rest of the crew, of which still Malcom and Rhys and Wesley have not yet been awarded.
Yes. He does with some struggle. He does go through each and every one of them, but there is moments of trouble recalling who or what their position may be.
Yeah.
He does remember Wesley,
Yeah.
but I think everybody else is a little bit harder to just sort of. I think Rhys as well. It's probably just Malcom is hard, but it's not. It seems random. It doesn't like. There's no like. If anybody was to look into it and be like, oh, he doesn't like me. It's not that. It's just him having. He's struggling on certain details. Sometimes it's names, sometimes it's last name, sometimes it's position, sometimes it's title, sometimes it's just their skill, or just where he is. It's just there seems to be something off about the cognitive processing that is Severence right now.
Well, the one that you had this most struggle with, Malcom, is the one who's known you the longest, and he is not offended, right? Yeah. He just puts his hand on your bicep and squeezes.
Yeah.
Just with this,
and is very impressed.
Look, you're a quasi dad figure for him, right? And so he is. Yeah, he is. He's watched the whole ceremony, right? And he's seen how you struggled, and he is clearly not offended, but he just looks at you with love, and care. As the other three, one by one, right? And with Rhys she's excited to meet it. Like, this is like a second Aslan. And of course, she says, my understanding is that you are young, but young in a way that our young are young. That you still fight, you still work, and that you yourself are also a brilliant mind. Rhys, there is nothing more important in all of known space than a brilliant mind. Because the brilliant mind, the future, you will bring everything to the future. It is the young minds with thought and brilliance and ideas that will only make a civilization grow. And you, for us, represent the promise and hope of the future. Thank you for showing us what the brilliance of youth means. This will be something we will remember and keep as hope burning in our hearts, as you proved yourself to be someone of great valor and heart. And so the Borite Continuity Authority and all of Borite, we say here to this moment, never stop dreaming, and thank you so much for all of your valor. You honor us. And she puts the medal over Rhys's neck.
And Rhys is giddy. Like, again, she has no intention of doing what Soto did. Like, this, she feels that this is awesome, and she wants to be a part of the awesome. And as she, with all of her heart, now she has something that Wesley has. They have something together. The whole crew has it, And so as soon as it's put around her neck, she would look up, and just over the shoulder of the administrator, leaning against the gambler, is a silhouette. Very thin, very muscular, and there is a glow of what looks to be some type of, almost like a cigarette or a long-stemmed burning branch, and her adult features are revealed in the glow. And even though no one else can hear it carried on the wind, Rhys would hear that voice say, "It's a start."
And with that, we end our episode. As our crew have been awarded their honors, a celebration goes late into the night, whereas across the planet, radio signals have gone forth, and those 25 people have been brought in for some questioning, so that the harm that has been happened cannot happen again, at least not at this moment. You all now officially will be bringing Borite one step closer. You have gone from neutral now to the next step of their to tolerant. I will be upgrading their attitude towards you appropriately. And this, my friends, is where we end tonight. Next week, I believe it should be time for you to go and get your 2.5 million credit reward. But for this moment, a day well done. And the people of Borite have hope that they are not alone and forgotten on the edge of this cluster. So,
hell yeah.
Let's go around and have everybody say who you are, where we can find you next, and then give some love as each one of you have this amazing... I'm going to have to go design this medal so that I can give you all a digital version of it. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm going to make it, and I'm going to give it to you. So let's start. I would like to start with Cord. Cord, I want to start with you because for so many reasons. So let me say to you, Cord, who are you? Where can we find you next? And then give some love.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Cord. You can call me Mythematic. I will be here next time you see me, or I will figure out a way to have started my stream. And then you can find me over on twitch.tv/Mythematic, or another green streaming service known with the same name, Mythematic. Yeah, so that's me. I don't know where I'll be next, but you could find me here next Friday where I'll be playing the same guy. This week's love, Greg, tonight when you scruffed Malcom as Instinct for when Soto was trying to like calm him down, but like not in a way to bridge between the cultures, but not in a way that was like disrespectful. It was awesome. I just love the fact that like he went to grab at the back of his head, and it wasn't necessarily like like a father figure, but it was definitely more of like, it wasn't like, oh, son, watch out. It was definitely same gesture, same maneuver, but of course it would be in the eyes of an Aslan who would be scruffing the guy versus.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I just thought that was really cool. It's a really cool small detail of the many tonight that stuck out for character and cultural bridge between Aslan culture and our silly, stupid Imperium human culture, Galangic or whatever we are. But Quint also being ready to like being on guard almost with the axe buzzing as Severence woke up was really awesome. Just being like ready to be like, this is probably, because that was also very a very real possibility. Is I could just woke up and it was still Marymore. So that was awesome. And so thank you for just having the crews back to being like, I'll cut them in half. I'll do it again. So thank you for that. And Nugget, Emelisa, I really liked the real. We see a lot of humanized characteristics of Emelisa, and I love it because it's such a good reminder that, like, yeah, we're the main characters of this story, but it is your character, and when you it would make 100% sense for Emelisa to be a little worried and a little like subconsciously looking to others for security post the hostage situation she was in, post her being tied up and bound. So like that trauma still sort of lingering enough for her to seek others for that. Just like, what should I do? Should I help out? And like looking to help out in the crew, but also really in this sort of I don't want to say selfish, but like in a healing, but in a sense of looking for security, was really cool just to see that, like that subtle difference, and just was really beautiful to see, because it could have been, we could have just moved on and forgotten about it, and it could have been like, oh, she's off like preparing food or whatever. But the fact that that was a big detail of her still adjusting and getting used to these big maneuvers and the consequences of her actions, I guess, of going out and trying to, I don't want that also diminishes and any credit that she has. But I mean, I just thought it was really cool. I just really loved that still stuck with you as a player to then make sure it was said for Emelisa to at least still be not a badass yet, but still enough to learn that that there's human, like she's human, I just thought it was really good, and I just thank you for that. Troop, thank you so much for letting me take some of the reins in the labyrinth scene tonight. That was super cool. I just really liked a lot of the mind spaces that we get to play in is super exciting, and when we get to play there, I love when you're able to remember whose mind place is where and whose is whose. So like mine being the labyrinth or mine being the courtyard was just a cool, fun reminder. Because I thought it was the Harlocks for a while, but I was like, oh no, that is. Anyway, just that was me. Thank you so much.
The Harlock tends to be. She has got her own space, but your shared space is the cabin.
Yeah.
Yours is like Marymore's water gardens.
Right. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this time it wasn't a water garden.
Quint's is terrible.
Labyrinth. Yeah. And Quint's is terrible. That's right. But yeah,
just a back alley.
Just a back alley. I can't wait until we get to find see what Emelisa's mind space is like. We're already seeing a little bit of Rhys's. complicated.
What the hell's going on with Rhys?
It's fine.
Yeah. Anyway, that's me. Thanks everybody. You're all awesome. I love you, and I can't wait for next week.
Since we're popcorning it, and clearly Cord has popcorned over to Emelisa with her humanity. Nugget, who are you? Where can we find you next? And give some love.
Hi, yes, I'm Nuggetasaurus. You'll find me here again next week, Friday, and then the following Tuesday, so not this upcoming Tuesday, but the following Tuesday after that, I'll be back for some Ghost of Saltmarsh, where we're going to investigate some murders and interview a psionic tutor for my 4-year-old. So It's going to be great. It'll be fun. Oh God, so much love. I'm going to start with Greg because I think Soto and Rhys this episode were just freaking phenomenal. Just all of their scenes were amazing. The one though that I really want to point out is when we were getting ready to go back to the Gambler and Soto was questioning the prisoners and then strung up and put a warning message of on these Oghman Raiders, essentially saying, "Hey, you're next," kind of thing. And
because
that was
they're
just
going to come back, right?
Yeah.
They're going to come back and they're going to find these people. Yeah. So I think
good.
just striking a little bit of that fear into the Oghman Raiders, maybe it'll make them think twice about bothering Borite for a little bit. So I love that. That was amazing. But of course, the Rhys leading, and not even really leading, just kind of being there for Severence in the mind space, I thought was very beautiful and very. Rhys is so. I think I said it earlier, but she has like these little lines that really hit deep, and she doesn't even realize it. Or the for the characters kind of thing. And it's just I love both of your characters. For Quint, I loved that moment of Quint showering with Karine and talking to Karine while and cleaning up before the party. I just thought that was a very talking about human moments. That was a very human moment of them just kind of.
Did I miss the shower scene?
Getting
there's
clean.
a shower scene.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's like when you're hanging out with your bestie and you're like they're on the other side of the shower curtain. You're giving them the hot gas. Yeah.
They're at the sink, brushing their teeth or something, and you're
Like, did you stab somebody?
That.
Oh, I totally stabbed somebody.
Oh,
like,
of course I stabbed somebody.
I've got some great footage to show you later. It's from first person's perspective, so it may not be the best, but you'll get the picture. Yeah.
And then my love for Myth. It's so strange. I've only spent 6, 7, 8 episodes now with this crew, and it's so strange seeing that difference between normal Severence and this confused, kind of like mentally drained Severence, and just that dynamic there I think is very interesting, and I'm very interested to see how he recovers and how Severence is such a complicated character. And I love him and I hate him at the same time. And it's just so I love it. I love it. It's phenomenal. And Trooper, just thank you so much for building this world. And I think Greg said it last time, you just build a world that we want to live in. And it's so I can picture every single scene in amazing detail because of the way you describe it and the way you break things down and make it understandable. And just, I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you. I'll stop talking now.
Oh, so speaking of people who I feel like I am grateful to have here, and by people I mean multiple characters, I want to say I'm going to throw it over to Greg because you got to play 3 characters today, and I'm very excited about it. Say who you are, where we can find you, and then give some love.
Hi, everybody. My name is Greg. I'm Warp Reactor over on YouTube. I actually just put up my very first viewing of Star Trek, the motion picture, the director's cut. I have never seen it before, and I absolutely loved it. And so, join me over there if you want to watch anything. But it was a great movie, and we have a bunch of stuff. So just if you want to hang out, watch cartoons or anything else, join me over there.
Can I point out something? Can I just point out something? Kirk is a really bad captain. People died because, in the
summation when we were going over it, I said, I'm not sure Kirk needed to be in this movie.
But see, the thing is, he wanted to real bad.
Yeah. Oh, I know, but the character F's up multiple times, which is, again, Jim Kirk's my guy. I absolutely love Kirk. Not to get off on, but I watched the movie. It's a really good exploration of both his character and Spock, and Decker, the guy who was supposed to be captain, who got kicked out of the chair because it's awesome. Great shit. Great shit.
It was a really good movie. People talk smack about it, but I think it's really good. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was. I mean, it's a love letter to the original series. So I mean, I absolutely loved it. Everybody, just incredible moments tonight from my favorite characters walking around. Quint, I'm telling you what, Lindy, that was one of the coolest things where you were like, you know what, I'm gonna have to kill him if this is not Severance. I'm gonna have to. No one else is going to do this. I am going to have to stand here and kill this guy. That was an incredibly profound statement because I thought, my God, there is nobody else on the bridge nobody else inside ship who's going to do that.
Yeah.
And that was an interesting character beat that I really dug. I thought that was super duper juicy.
It was like, and no one is going to love me for it. I'll probably die right afterwards, but I'm going to have to do it.
Right. You're like, this might be my shot to take him. I was like, wow, holy shit. And then I started thinking, is it Marymore? that was really, really good.
Yeah.
And Nugget, I'm telling you what, with Dame, I have such a connection with Dame Emelisa. When you were like, I don't want to talk with anybody, but I want to help get like the meat down from the ship. And as soon as they start I'm going to go to another conversation. I think I walked in those footsteps many times through many parties. And I really, really felt that. That was a great character beat. 2 really good character beats back to back from you all. And Cord, buddy. And I'm sure the Foxhole saw this, was rolling before he introduced everybody.
Yep.
And he was doing so with a Bane because of the situation that he was in mentally. And I love the direction because you could even see the nuance on the strength or the weakness of the roles as to how you were portrayed. Dude, that's masterclass shit there by saying, okay, Dice, you tell me how much I should be affected by this.
Yeah.
And to be able to distinguish between the roles as we're watching them in real time and then your performance, buddy, that was something else. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Trooper, as always, you have a community to die for. These everyone that shows up here to watch the worlds that you've created is a testament to the worlds that you've created. They are beautiful, they are dangerous, and they are everything in between. And that's why we like to be in them. We like to live in them. We like to throw characters we love into them. And we like to, as a community, join every Friday and talk about them. And again, I mean, this chat is the absolute best. Prax, thank you for all those subs that you dumped in there. That was good stuff, my friend. Prax, everybody, one of my favorite people to RP with. Speaking of which, Trooper, thank you for the world. Thank you for the characters. Thank you for the dance that we do each and every.
Oh, all right. That I feel like is time for me to look to see if we have any messages. I think that is the case. Messages.
Or I could do my
Don't forget Lindy.
No.
Okay, that's fine.
Nope. And I think you know why. So I'm going to read their messages first.
No, I don't, but go off.
This is your last episode, Lindy. That's why.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, guys. Hi. So great playing with you.
So 500 bits from Hawkeye. No message, but thank you. And then 500 bits from Hawkeye again with a message, who says, no megaphone tonight. Just looking forward to great RP while I hide in the corner and get well. Hawkeye is sick. Hawkeye should get well. Get well, Hawkeye.
I could tell because there was no megaphone. That's
I know, right?
That's the sign of health.
And then we got 2K bits from Bex. Bex, by the way, I'm giving you the biggest love right now. I want you to know that you're getting like a virtual huge hug. Thank you for the bits, but also just in general, a big hug. And it says, cheers to a very good Friday, Foxhole Friday. All. Thank you. And also, you've got love from this whole crew. And then 200 bits from Rissa, our wonderful mod, one of our wonderful mods, who says, Woot, what does getting medals do for the reputation? Oh, it increases their standing. But those, and also thank you, Prax, for those 5 gift subs. Now, though, I want to go to Lindy.
Lindy's song.
So, Lindy, you're up next. And I would like to thank you for first off, being super sore and still being here. Right? Sort of like, despite the fact you had like PT life going on, and you were dealing with a character who had a lot happening internally, and you were still able to externalize it. I want to thank you just for being my body doubling buddy, and so you get to go last because I don't know how I would get so much done without you helping me out, just being there. So I want to give that little special spot. So Lindy, who are you? Where can we find you next? And please give some love.
Hi, I'm Lindy, laughlovelindy, and goodness, I'm gonna give some love first because I never want to forget my moments that I have picked out in my brain for everybody. Give my love for Severence first. I loved how he wasn't Marymore, first of all, and I didn't have to kill him because I'm sitting there, and which means Quint's sitting there, also going like, all right, wakes up and it's Marymore. No one else is going to kill him. I'm going to have to kill him because we cannot have Marymore leading the ship. But if I kill him,
I'm that person. Okay, great.
Yeah, but if I kill him, then half the people in this room are going to try to kill me.
Yeah,
I don't have to fight them or kill them. I mean, I guess we'll see what happens. But I know what I have to do, and it's going to suck. So let's hope it's not Marymore. And then it wasn't. It was like, okay, now does he remember me slashing him? Because that was definitely my work. Okay, maybe? No? We'll go over this later. Yep, okay. I just wanted to make sure he wasn't, like, immediately going to be like, it was you! And then Soto attacks me. So we're like,
Oh, God, yeah, that would have been bad.
Quint was like, we're just going to suss things out a little bit. All right, now I'm going to shower off the blood. We good. But I loved how you weren't Marymore. That was great. And then B, I loved how disoriented you played Severance once you got back. Like, A+ concussion acting right there. Just bravo. I loved it. And then rolling to see whose names you could remember. And I was just like, oh no, Severance. But it was so good. And Quint knows your contest, but did make note of the order of which you called up names. And Quint was like, he called me up first. But it's playing cool. It's playing real cool. So that is my love for you. My love next is gonna go to Dame Emelisa for not wanting to be alone because she was just kidnapped and maybe has some kidnapping trauma, but doesn't want to bring it up or hasn't mentioned it yet. Quint has noticed it and will probably be like, hey, how you doing? But, after didn't want to call you out of the festival. Wanted you to, like, enjoy time, not be picked. But once we wind down for the evening, Quint's gonna check in on you because Quint did notice that, and I noticed that, and I thought that was very, very good. Everyone's just so traumatized, and I love it. So welcome to the Traumatized Club, on Traumatized While on Adventures Club, Dame Emelisa. It's a good time, good life. And my love for Greg. I just loved how Soto, usually we all love Rhys. Rhys is amazing, but Soto today really shone to me. Soto is just on par with stopping Malcom and then looking at Karine like, really? I just love that. But like not scolding anybody, just kind of being a really good mediary. Which I think says, and he didn't have to say much. He was just present in such a beautiful way, and was able to guide situations, and I loved it. I thought it was great. Excellent, Greg. And my love for Trooper is that he's awesome, and I liked how he showed the tensions between different crew members when the captain is injured and on the floor. Like, Malcolm's traumatized and he's trying to get control of something. Karine is self-defense knife grabbing. Wesley's just freaking out. And I just, he did such a good job showing how distinct each member of the crew's personality is. And also, love for Kirsch having just so many friends in so many places. Kirsch is just such a well-liked guy, apparently. And I'm so glad he's on our side, even though he got marooned. I feel like that was extenuating circumstances, and I can't wait to see.
Now, huh?
I will note that I did the trading rolls for the people, and I was like, oh yeah, the only way this happens is so Kirsch got a bunch of illegal luxuries from down here, and I was like, I see you, Kirsch. You've got contacts down here because they clearly have some good hallucinogenic plants down here that he's like, I know where to go to get some illegal goods. So
nice.
So he's been around. He knows some stuff.
That was really good. And the medal ceremony was very touching. So bravo, Trooper. I thought that was really well done. It's really nice. And Karine and Quint will never speak about almost crying at the reward ceremony ever again.
Nope. No, they
nope.
didn't.
They did, no.
No.
It was great, so thank you for being a wonderful GM. You can find me online, GMing and playing in games, Laugh Love Lindy, that's me. You guess you'll find me next on Monday on Follow Black Cat's channel, where I am a completely delusional 1950s housewife. And I'm sure it's fine. My internet cut out in the last 40 minutes of the last game, so I don't know what happened in those last 40 minutes, but I'm sure something did, and I'll find out on Monday. Wednesday afternoon, you can find me on my channel GMing Call of Cthulhu Nightmare at Vestibruch, where we've had the tax collectors last week. We're back this coming week with Troopers Group, the settlers, just the people who live at the Western Settlement, and they're getting ready for Midsummer, and it's gonna be so exciting! Yay! And then you'll find me here on Friday. That's me.
Okay, and then so. Just noting, if you have any title suggestions, throw them in the chat, and I will give my outro. I want to say first off, I want to thank the chat, our audience. I love y'all over there in chat. Y'all are great. I don't know. People say people on the internet are terrible. It's like, not my people. The people I hang out with are awesome. So maybe hang out with better people. How about that? Because you all are really wonderful.
Get better internet.
Get better internet. Get good.
Yeah.
So I'm troopersjp. This is Friday. So you can find me Sunday night at 8 p.m. over at Other Doc's channel for Lords of Gossamer and Shadow, where I play a very, very old botanist who's probably Merlin. And, but that's exciting. And I have some props that no one's seen yet. They might come out. And then you should come and find me on Wednesday for the Nightmare at Vestibruch, where I have a great wig. Not nearly as good as Greg's wigs.
It is a great wig. It's pretty epic.
Yeah, Greg's are still better, but one day I will get there. And we're gonna have some Midsummer, and it's gonna be really nice. It's gonna be really cool and wholesome.
Yeah,
and just remember, if anybody
wholesome.
asks, our team is the wholesome team. The other team is the not wholesome team. That's the story. And then of course, back here on Friday for more of the Gamblers. We just finished session 7 out of 12, so we've got 5 more, and there's stuff happening. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm pretty excited about their journey back. So let me give my love, because that's the most important part. First, love. I just want to say thank you to all 4 players, because I will give you offers. So look, Cord's like, thank you for yes-anding us. And I was like, no. Thank you for picking it up. Because I'm sometimes just like, here, go ahead. You go. And sometimes players won't do it. You know what I mean? You'll give them that space to talk about their mind space or where they're at, and they just don't do it. And you all do it. And so I want to say thank you for taking the agency. I love to see what you have to say. It makes me really, really happy. And I love that you do things big and also small. And so my love is going to go in this way. 1, to Rhys, Greg. For Rhys, not forcing anything on Severence. Understanding that Severence was confused and couldn't get out, but not wanting it to seem... wanting to heal Severence rather than steamroll Severence. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's something really beautiful about the care with which Rhys interacts with other people. And I think that is beautiful. I have a question for you. What is Soto's tolerance skill? What is it? 2. You have tolerance at 2? Nice. I love that. Could you make it 3 for me? Thank you. I would like that if you would not mind. Okay, excellent. Next up on my love, I'm going to go over to Lindy. Lindy. Sometimes I don't say anything, but I notice you wore your mask at that ceremony. I noticed. Also, Tara noticed. I just want you to know that. These things, when I don't always say things, but I always note them. And there's always an impact. There's always a consequence for all of your choices. And right now, those consequences involve you undoing something terrible that Marymore has been doing for a while. And those things are happening. And I want to thank you for little details. There's a way in which you describe certain things. It's just the choices you make that feel so real. Like, I remember being those moments when I was in the military and somebody's in the shower and you're sitting around, right, just chatting with them. You know what I mean? Like, there's this kind of real, you're able to give a real sense of being lived in to your characters in a way that is just really amazing. I love the ways in which you just felt like a person who's lived on that ship, who's been in this space, and it makes everything feel so comfortable. It makes you feel like you've lived in this space. And so I just really, really want to thank that moment of the shower, not just to get all the blood off, but just to relax. I felt like we saw Quint in one of the more relaxed and human spaces we've seen her for a really long time, just taking a shower, right? And it was such good role play, and I want to say thank you for that. Very, very much so. But there was something else that I did want to ask you. What, might I ask, is your diplomacy?
Mine?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have it. Hold on.
Could you?
Oh, wait, diplomat. Yeah, I don't have it. I'm not trained.
Could you please take it at trained?
Yes, I could.
Mm-hmm. Next up, under the firing line, is going to have to be Cord. Cord! You know, people have given you so many great compliments for the way that you played this recovering from this psionic attack.
I'm ready for the bad one. Here, balance this out.
No, I'm going to just make it worse, obviously. Come on now. And the thing is, I'm going to sort of think about this, but in a sort of a slightly different way. It was, for me, about the ways in which if you take IQ damage, people are like, oh, well, I'm like, no, wait, but what does that mean, right? Because you've been injured, right? And that can be so many different things. There is a way in which some people who are not thoughtful in their RP and maybe who don't know their characters as well, just go for a kind of like, well, I guess I don't know what math is. And you're like, of course you still know what math is, right? But what does it mean to have had this huge sort of like injury in this way? Yeah. And I loved that you made it human. I think that there's an impulse very often in RPs when people sort of get very broad, where it becomes kind of goofy and not human anymore. And you're like, well, okay, I just took intel damage. Okay, I know. And then you're just like, but nobody does that. What are you doing, right? And you were able to sort of find... Yeah, you become an oaf, and you're like, but you've not been cursed with a cursed sword or anything. You know what I mean? Like, this is like a human person who's dealing with something for real. And I really appreciate the ways in which you actually did find, right? You found the humanity in that. And then you were able to then do one of the most human things ever, right? Which was to go through this medal ceremony in a way that still showed your care for each person while you were struggling to remember them, right? It was so... Like, I was just thinking to myself, there might be people in the audience for whom this might make them cry. You know what I mean? It was really, really something that it felt very deep. And I want to say thank you for that in a really big way. I would like you to increase your conduit skill if you wouldn't mind.
All right, I will.
Dame Emelisa, our newest addition to the crew. But a person who there's a way in which, like, you feel so similar to Rhys in that you're both you have so much care, you know, and also are probably evil warlords about to destroy and conquer the entire universe. I mean, I feel like both of those things are true with both of you, obviously. No, but I just really wanted to sort of think about this one moment. There's this thing you've been doing all along, and not everybody knows. I know, because I'm a stalker. I eat the GM. There's something really fascinating about Emelisa, which we're going to come to again in different moments, I know it, about your relationship to the material, right? You paint, not digitally, but with actual physical things, which are very hard to come by on Drinax. And this moment when you said it makes her a little sad, right? To think about these songs that they have, they don't even necessarily know what they mean yet, because this is a song about teleporters, and they don't even know what that means, right? And this sort of moment of sadness was so beautiful, and I think it says so much about Emelisa, but also the way that you interacted with Ura, right? The administrator. There's this like there's this such a beautiful melancholy about Dame Emelisa that is wonderful. It is really, really wonderful. And I am just really honored in many ways, right? To see that unfold and the care with which you interact with everybody else on the crew, even when you don't always know what's happening, right? Like, and that is something really like it's really nice. It's something that I think it's a character choice that not every player would make, right? But it is such a beautiful character choice, and I'm so honored to be able to watch that happen. And I am pleased. Could I ask you a question?
Sure.
I was wondering if you would tell me, do you have the science skill?
I do.
Do you have the history specialization?
I do not.
Would you please take it at 1?
Yes. Thank you.
Because of your, you've been working on it, and I would like to have that. And so I think the last thing I want to say is I want to thank all of you all for putting me in a position where I had to, but then also could show you how each of those the three of your core NPCs, Wesley, and Malcolm and Karine, how they each exist differently in this space, right? Because the most important thing here is that Wesley's an outsider, and you gave me a space for him to be like, I want to take care of other people because I also know what it's like to be new or to not know. For Malcolm, for whom, Severence is kind of a dad figure for him, and how his feeling is about not wanting like this person that's really important to be hurt. And for Karine, who is from the same kind of world as Borite, and that this is a really important, these are people who are important to her in her own way, right? So that you got to each have one of them have a space here. And so I wanted to say thank you for that. And my dearest friends in the audience, thank you so much for all of you who have supported us, all of you have hung out with us. And, there will be more next week. There will be more next week. Next week, they're going to leave this planet to their own devices.
Quint's had a really eventful first day on this planet.
You have, and unfortunately, you don't get to have a break, unlike the rest of the other two crews. I will ask you this question to ponder for next week. I ask you as players, but I want there to be witnesses in the chat. As you go to leave next week, because there'll be nothing stopping you, I need to ask you this, and that is, there are Oghman Raiders in this system, and they've been signaled. Do you want to leave or do you want to find them? Leaving them will keep you not interacting with them. Yay! But they will still be here. And you won't. So, with all of that said, please take care of yourselves, everyone. And we will see you all next week. Catch you on the flip side, everybody. Ciao.